Chapter 2089. Sima Yue was not interested in the grudges between the governor's residence and the city lord's residence. In order not to be discovered, the two of them left quietly after they heard the news. But even so, they were almost discovered when they left. After returning, Sima Yue asked about Daliang City. Old Man Li was shocked. "Are you sure it's Daliang City?" Seeing Old Man Li's huge reaction, Sima Yue asked curiously, "What's wrong with Daliang City?" "You don't know about Daliang City." Old Man Li sighed in his heart. The surrounding areas of the imperial capital are all flat and peaceful. Only Daliang City's area has uneven terrain and many dangerous places. Also, it's very strange there. In some places, people will disappear while walking. So strange. Yes. No matter how powerful they are, they won't be able to find out the reason. Once they disappear, they will never appear again. Old Man Li was terrified when he thought of this. Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu looked at each other. They had the same curiosity and fear. It seemed that the Soul Society was different from other places. There were terrifying gales in places like Daliang City. Since Daliang City is so dangerous, why is the talent selection held there? Sima Yue did not understand. Is it to better select the talents? I don't think so. Wu Lingyu shook his head. Although they are called talents, I don't think they are very strong. It's okay to lose one or two people. If many people die, it's not worth it. The talents who had grown up would have chosen their masters or started working for them. They would not wait for the selection. Hence, those who participated in the selection were naturally young and talented. However, the age here was not calculated based on age. It was calculated based on the time they had been in the Soul Society. Sima Yue thought about it and agreed. If everyone died or disappeared, it would be a huge loss. Then why did he choose such a dangerous place? Old Man Li asked this question because he could not think of a reason. That's something that only those in power know. Perhaps we'll find out when we get there, Wu Lingyu said. You're still going there? Old Man Li looked at them in surprise. Since we know where the competition is, of course we have to go. Sima Yue said confidently. Do you know that apart from these, there are other dangers there? There's no need to think about it. But that won't stop us. Sima Yue smiled. Besides, there aren't many safe places in this world. Look at how many people are still safe and sound today, but tomorrow their heads will be separated from their bodies. A safe place might not necessarily be free of danger, and a dangerous place might not necessarily be unsafe. Uncle Li, shouldn't you feel this way the most? Old Man Li's body trembled. Sima Yue was right. Rogue cultivators like them could understand this the best. He was still alive today, but who knew if he would come back tomorrow? Even if he was in a safer place, he would still have to face all kinds of dangers. Just like the incident with the strong wind. He had no money. He would either be blown to death by the strong wind, or he would have to agree to serve the corvée for a year. Either way, he would die. Who knew what it would be like in Daliang City? He might even be able to fight his way out. However, Sima Yue saw his uncertain expression and thought that he was unwilling. She said, "If you don't want to go, we won't force you. After all, the road ahead is too dangerous." "It's not that I'm unwilling. It's just that I don't know much about that place. But I have a friend there. If we go, we can ask her about the local situation." Old Man Li calculated in his mind and decided to go with them. "It'll be easier if you have a friend," Sima Yue said with a smile. If it was difficult for outsiders to get information, it would be much easier for the locals to get it. "Then when the wind season is over, we can depart," Old Man Li said. Seeing Sima Yue nod her head, his heart finally settled. He was really afraid that she would not bring him along just now. 2 days later, the originally clear sky suddenly changed. It turned from a sunny day to a strong wind in just a few minutes. When the wind started blowing, all the city gates were closed. The city protection formation was activated immediately. Those who had not entered the city in time were blocked outside. When the wind blew, they were all blown into the sky. Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu stood by the window. They watched as the people who were blown into the sky disappeared after a few seconds. They were amazed by the power of the wind. Uncle Li is right. This wind is really scary. If we were outside with my ability, without any trump cards, we might not be able to withstand it, Sima Yue said. This wind is so strange. It's as if it came from the ground. Wu Lingyu had never seen such a situation. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I heard from Uncle Li that this is only found in the Azure Dragon Soul region. The other 3 places don't have it. Sima Yue was curious. However, she did not have the energy to investigate now. If you're interested, you can take your time to investigate after we rescue your mother. She could only be curious now. When the wind season is over, we'll have to deal with those people, Wu Lingyu said. The city lord's residence, or the commander's residence. I wonder who will come first. Old Man Li was on the street now. He looked up at those who were blown into the sky by the wind. A few of them were people he knew. He watched as they struggled in the wind for a while before they were torn apart by the wind. They turned into black smoke and disappeared forever. If he did not meet Sima Yue, if he was not willing to serve the corvée, he would end up like them. So what if Daliang City was dangerous? At least he had a chance to survive. Even if he could not escape death, he would still live for a few more days. He closed his eyes. When he opened them again, there was no more hesitation in his eyes. He turned around and returned to the inn. He wanted to tell Sima Yue something he knew. Sima Yue was shocked when she heard what he said. You said you found an ore vein outside Daliang City? Is that true? Sima Yue asked. It's true. Old Man Li nodded. If it wasn't for this, I wouldn't have stayed away from that place for so many years. Didn't you say you weren't familiar with that place? How did you know there was an ore vein outside the city? Wu Lingyu asked. Because that incident was too tragic. We don't want to think about it anymore. It was that incident that made me realize that there are many places where people can disappear unknowingly. He could not help but shiver when he recalled the situation. Chapter 2090. Old Man Li recounted what happened back then slowly. His voice was trembling with fear. I entered Daliang Mountain with them. Everything was fine in the beginning. When we arrived at the mine, we realized that there was really the aura of a mineral vein there. We went crazy. As itinerant cultivators, you probably can't imagine how difficult it was to live here. Therefore, when danger came, none of us realized it. More than half of us died one after another. Only then did we snap out of our madness. This wasn't a treasure trove, but a forbidden land of death. Therefore, some people started to retreat. The remaining people were divided into 2 groups. Some wanted to go back, and some wanted to open up the mine. We thought that even the 2 of us were going to die in there. We didn't expect to escape in the end. After confirming that we had left the area and couldn't feel the chill, we were sure that we had really come back to life. Old Man Li continued. After that, I left there. My friend went to Daliang City. We would still contact each other occasionally. He said that the place was discovered by others later on. However, those people ended up like us. They didn't get anything. Moreover, many of them were completely annihilated in there. No. However, it's already under control. Old Man Li said. That's possible. Wu Lingyu thought of this as well. Hee, I wonder if they have the ability to solve this problem. Sima Yue's smile was somewhat devilish. Of course. How could she ignore the treasure's whereabouts? This was too unlike her. Given their current hostile state, of course, she hoped that they would fail in this matter. As long as it had a slight effect on Chehi, she was willing to do it. Seeing that the 2 of them still wanted to go to the mineral vein, Old Man Li turned pale with fright. He blurted out. I'm telling you this because I want you to have a certain understanding of that place so that you can be mentally prepared. We know. However, knowing that there's treasure, how can we just give up? We know. That's why we didn't plan to go as soon as we reached Daliang City, Sima Yue said seriously. And Chapter 2091. The person with white rose was Wuxiang City's city lord. Because he had just advanced, his aura was still unstable. Sima Yue was startled, but she reacted quickly and laughed. Nan Yumiao was already a dead person in their eyes, so it didn't matter if she was dead or not. Explanation? What explanation do you want? She looked at them calmly. Follow you? Do you think I can live? Sima Yue didn't believe them. Now that everyone is watching, you won't kill me. Who knows if you'll kill me on the way? Pfft. Sima Yue laughed coldly. Have you heard of this saying? You're a whore but still want to maintain your chastity. Am I wrong? Sima Yue laughed coldly. You said that I killed Nanyu Miao the moment you arrived. Aren't you trying to use me to kill Nanyu Miao? Then you'll find an excuse to kill me on the way, and no one will know. If you're not a whore but still trying to maintain your chastity, then what is? Sima Yue looked at the soldiers on the street, and didn't believe his words. If he really wanted to do that, he wouldn't have brought so many people here. Now, she was definitely going to take a look at the mines before looking for Hua Wuxiang. She smiled at that person. I want to go with you, but I'm afraid they won't agree. You don't have to care about these people. We're from the governor's manor, and have no enmity with Nanyu Miao. That's why we can safely escort you back. The person from the governor's manor said. All right. White Rose, it's best if you don't care about this. Lai Qingping said, you're the governor's messenger, not his messenger. You should think more about the governor. We have to respect the person's opinion. She's willing to go with us, but not you. Lai Qingping said. These people had already seen him with them, and they had also seen what had happened today. If they followed her, they might be able to find a way out. If they didn't, they might be killed in the blink of an eye. Lai Qingping, it seems like you want to fight us to the end. Wuxiang City Lord said. Chapter 2092. It was different from the flat plains of other places. As soon as they entered Daliang City's territory, they were surrounded by endless mountain ranges. Even Daliang City was built at the foot of the mountain, very similar to a modern mountain city. Sima Yue looked at the long mountain range in the distance and asked, Is that the mineral vein you were talking about? Sima Yue saw his state and said, Just wait for us here. There's no need to go. Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu went down the mountain and slowly approached the mineral vein. They stopped when they were a few miles away from the mineral vein. Sima Yue sensed that there were many soldiers a safe distance away from the mineral vein. If they went up directly, it would take some time. Moreover, the commotion here would attract the attention of Daliang City. At the foot of the mineral vein, the soldiers were guarding an area in groups of 3 to 5. Isn't that right? There's nothing here. You can't even go drink some wine. You're pretending to be serious here. I don't believe that you don't miss that lover of yours. Even if you miss her, don't say it out loud. The patrol will be here soon. If they hear you, I won't be able to save your lives, the person who was being teased said. I didn't see much but I saw a lot of dead people. Alright, stop complaining. What's there? Don't joke about this. This is a strange place. There aren't even any underworld beasts around. How could there be any commotion? Really? Then go and take a look. The patrol is coming. If there's anything wrong here, the 3 of us won't be able to explain ourselves. Let's go and take a look. Hey, what's the situation over there? The 2 people guarding here asked. The 2 of them laughed. How old was this person? He could still run into a tree. The 2 of them wanted to tease him, but before they could say anything, they saw the patrol coming. The 3 of them immediately stood up. This time, there's nothing unusual. The person who was being teased replied. The 3 of them smiled happily. Finally, the end of their anticipation. Before they could walk out of the area, someone came. The commander invited Master Lu to take a look at the mineral vein. The commander of the right replied. Since you're fine, let's go together. The few of them were stunned. He actually wanted them to follow him inside. Chapter 2093. When they said that, everyone was terrified. Master Lu was also a little scared, but when he thought of his own identity, he did not show it too clearly. However, Sima Yue saw that his expression was not too good. Yes. Commander Wright said, This is what I told you before about someone dying inexplicably. It's exactly the same as before. Master Lu, do you think this is also done by Sure? Sima Yue raised her eyebrows. She also felt it just now. It was obvious that the others did not notice that little difference. Because it wants to scare us. Master Lu said. It wants to make us fearful. It likes to see us fearful. Everyone, pay attention to the situation behind. Master Lu said to everyone. Let's continue forward. We'll reach the mineral vein area in a few miles. Commander Wright said. So no matter what the road ahead was, they had to bite the bullet and move forward. Ah! The person walking in front of her cried out, because his cry indicated that something had happened again. Commander Wright's expression was even worse now. Every time he came in, he would experience these things again. If he was not mentally strong enough, he would have broken down. It's very possible, but I'm not sure. I've never seen such a powerful Shi before. Master Lu said honestly. Yes. I don't know how it made people disappear silently. It's precisely because I don't know that it shows how powerful it is. Master Lu said. Master Lu did not know how that person disappeared without a trace, but she knew. To be precise, it was the contract with me air that made her more sensitive to Shi. She vaguely felt that something appeared in front of that person, and then he disappeared. No wonder Old Manly said that it could not be the space of the fault zone. He did not feel the fluctuation of space either, because he was simply being eaten. Do you want me to come back? Mier knew that someone had died again and asked. Mier was silent for a second and said, Then you be careful. Right, Domain Chief, are we still going to continue? Someone asked. Continue. Although the right envoy was unwilling to do so, Master Lu was the most powerful master they had hired so far. Chapter 2094. What about feeling a chill and suddenly making a move? This kind of words could only deceive those laymen. For Master Lu, who was well versed in the art of spirit seeking, this kind of excuse was simply untenable. Should he tell the right commander about this matter? He struggled in his heart for a moment, but still chose Sima Yue. Understanding this point, he smiled at her. It's not easy for you to be able to relate to what I said just now to save your life. This is your own ability. Master Lu said. You also heard it. If you feel a chill approaching you, don't hesitate to make a move. Maybe it can save your little life. Sima Yue's smile deepened and gave Master Lu a bright smile. They had reached a consensus. This subordinate obeys. Sima Yue walked forward and came to the side of Master Lu and the right commander. In her heart, she deeply despised the man next to her. Master Lu was very satisfied with his decision. He also wanted Sima Yue to be by his side, but he couldn't say it. The right commander's decision just happened to be what he wanted. The group of them carefully climbed up from the foot of the mine. Even Sima Yue was 120% alert, thinking that something would happen, but they all safely reached the top. Master Lu, can you see the direction of this force? He looked at Master Lu expectantly. Even you can't do anything? The right commander felt that he was right. This kind of thing couldn't be rushed, especially at such a time. You alone? How can that be? What if something hurts you? The right commander disagreed. But this is too unsafe. The right commander disagreed. The right commander saw the person he was pointing at and his face changed, but in the end he reluctantly agreed. Yes. Sima Yue obediently followed behind Master Lu and flew to another mountain. Master Lu stopped at this time and looked at Sima Yue and said, Senior, are you confident in this force? And Chapter 2095. Master Lu didn't know why she said it was fast, but seeing her confident look, he believed her words from the bottom of his heart. The right governor felt his hair stand on end, as though he was being watched by something. The surrounding temperature was getting lower and lower, and he knew that something was definitely approaching. He was vigilant, but he couldn't find those forces. Ah, he was eaten by someone? Those people were successfully frightened. Before anyone could react, another person was killed. Ah. Pitiful cries sounded out from all directions. This person lost an arm, another lost a leg, another lost a lower half of his body, and another lost an upper half of his body. In just a moment, the mountain was filled with broken limbs. If he had gone back just now, he would have ended up like these people. Even the right domain envoy could not resist, let alone him, who was not strong enough. At this moment, the chill around them increased. He swallowed his saliva and looked at Sima Yue in fear. Don't worry, nothing will happen. Sima Yue said calmly. Master Lu saw that she was so calm, and the panic in his heart dissipated a lot, but he still looked at her with a hanging heart, wanting to see what she would do. After a while, he felt that the coldness around him had lessened quite a bit. He knew that the force had left. The string in his heart had completely snapped, and all the strength in his body had been sucked out. He couldn't even sit still, and directly collapsed on the ground, panting heavily. You want to chase me away? Master Lu was about to cry. Just let me follow you. I'll be yours from now on. Seeing that Sima Yue had made up her mind, Master Lu took a blank piece of wood from her hand and left. Aren't you worried that he'll snitch on us after he gets out? What should we do next? You want to move this mine away? Sima Yue saw the teasing look in his eyes and knew that he was joking. Chapter 2096. What's going on? Sima Yue pretended not to know. You guys don't know? Old Man Li asked in surprise. Sima Yue shook her head. We found a deserted place and walked in for a short distance. We came back when we felt the chill you mentioned. To avoid those people, we went to a secluded place. Luckily that's the case. Otherwise you guys might have been discovered, Old Man Li said. What's going on? I don't know what happened over there. However, there have been a lot of people rushing in from outside these 2 days. Although they're not wearing soldiers' clothes, they should be the commander's men, Old Man Li said. There's a sudden increase in people. That's why I wanted to ask if something happened over there. Of course Sima Yue knew what happened. They probably found out that the commander was dead, so they sent people to check on the situation here. I see. Since there's a lot of people, let's leave quickly. Okay. Although she wanted to stay and see how those people reacted when they found out that there were no ores in the mine, they could not appear here in order to separate themselves from this matter. Even the Scarlet Bees could not be left behind. The 3 of them left quietly. On the way they encountered 2 groups of people. Fortunately, Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu's divine consciousness were especially strong. They discovered them in advance and managed to avoid them. However, it was because of this that she felt that her previous guess was wrong. If it was only because the commander was dead, it should not have caused such a huge commotion. Dead people were too common in this mine. They would not seek revenge from the mine just because of one person's death. Wouldn't that mean that more people would be sent in? Therefore, these people must have found out that something was wrong with the mine. Perhaps they had found out that the mine could be entered. That was why they informed the higher-ups to send so many people down. Old Man Li looked at the people rushing over in confusion. Look at these people's anxious and excited faces. Could it be that the situation at the mine has been resolved? Could it be that they already know how to enter? Who knows? Sima Yue shrugged and pretended not to know. Even if that's the case, it has nothing to do with us. We can't go over and take a part in it. The excited expression on Old Man Li's face disappeared immediately. It seemed like he was hit by her words. You're right. This has nothing to do with us. We can't go back and snatch it now. Sigh, for loose cultivators like us, it's so rare to encounter such a good opportunity. It's a pity that it was taken by the commander. He sighed deeply. Sima Yue smiled. She seemed to agree with what he said, but she was actually laughing at what she had done. Those people ran over excitedly, only to find that it was just an empty mountain. The expressions on their faces couldn't be any more interesting. Let's keep going. It'll take a few more days to reach Daliang City. Just as Sima Yue had guessed, the people who had arrived recently were sent here after receiving the news. Commander of the left. The guard saluted the leader. What's the situation here? The left domain ambassador asked. 2 days ago, the chill here suddenly began to decrease, so we quickly reported it back, the guard said. Where is the deputy of the right? The deputy of the right and Master Lu entered the mountain more than 10 days ago. They haven't come out yet, the guard replied. The person beside the left domain ambassador guessed. Commander of the left, could it be that the deputy of the right and Master Lu solved the situation here together? It's possible, the left domain ambassador said. But they haven't sent back any news. We don't know the exact situation now. Since the situation here was accompanied by this chill, now that the chill has dissipated, It means that the situation inside has stabilized. Commander of the left, since Commander Han said so, why don't we let him go in and take a look first? Someone suggested. This Commander Han. Chapter 2097. When Sima Yue and the rest entered the city, they saw a group of people dashing out of the city. Old Manly pulled Sima Yue to hide in the crowd, whispering, "That's Commander Hua." Sima Yue looked up and saw the person flying at the front. Hua Wuxiang was handsome, but his violent aura greatly reduced his image. The low pressure around him caused the people behind him to stay a few meters away from him. Commander Hua seems to be in a bad mood. Did something happen? Old Manly mumbled. Is it because of the mineral vein? Who knows? Since he's the commander, he must have a lot of things to do. Maybe he's troubled over something. Although Sima Yue said that, she was sure that he was troubled because of the mineral vein. She could not see his expression when he saw the mineral vein, but it was good to see him like this. Kuhi and Ruin Valley's attack on the ghost territory was supported by the finance ministers. Therefore, she was happy to see them in a bad mood. That's true. Let's enter the city and find your friend. Okay. Hua Wuxiang led them to the mineral vein and went straight to the place the left ambassador mentioned. Seeing Hua Wuxiang, the left ambassador took 2 steps forward and said, "Commander, what's the situation? You said the mineral vein is empty. What do you mean?" Hua Wuxiang asked as he strode inside. Commander, you should see for yourself." The left ambassador did not know how to describe what he saw. Hua Wuxiang knew his subordinate well. Seeing him like this, he knew that the situation was very strange. His heart sank, and he quickened his pace. When he entered the mineral vein and saw the situation, he could not help but be stunned. There was nothing in the entire mineral vein. The people behind him were all stunned. Looking at the empty cave, they couldn't say a word. "It was like this when we came in," the left ambassador said. The commander of the left said, "At first, we thought that this was an empty mountain, but in the past 2 days, we've discovered some clues. There are traces of new excavations everywhere. Judging from the old and new traces, it shouldn't be more than half a month ago." And what? The head of the left pursed his lips and revealed his unbelievable discovery. All the chisel marks in the entire mine are the same. Are you saying that in half a month, someone broke through our layers of defense and emptied the entire mine? Hua Wuxiang looked at him faintly. The minister of the left felt his scalp tingle. He knew that Hua Wuxiang did not believe him. Even he couldn't believe it when he first came to this conclusion. However, the truth was the truth. It wouldn't change just because they didn't believe it. However, he did not dare to say this to Hua Wuxiang. He could only choose to say it in a roundabout way. "I also feel that this conclusion is too outrageous, so I am waiting for the commander to confirm it further." Hearing his words, Hua Wuxiang knew that this unbelievable thing was most likely true. "Let's go and take a look." He had the governor of the left lead the way from the beginning to the end. Because of the commander of the left's warning, everyone deliberately looked at the chisel marks as they walked. The more they looked, the stranger and more frightened they became. All the chisel marks were exactly the same. In other words, the entire mine was really dug out at the same time. How is this possible? Even if someone were to dig out such a large mine, it would be impossible to dig it out in such a short period of time. The chisel marks must have been dug out at different times. Therefore, the chisel marks seemed even more impossible. They didn't want to believe it, but they had no choice but to. Hua Wuxiang slowly accepted this fact. He sneered. "It seems that we have met a capable person." Everyone knew that she was in a bad mood. No one dared to say anything. Hua Wuxiang did not expect them to say anything. After a while, she calmed herself down. It had already happened. There was no point in thinking about anything else. She could only investigate first. The left ambassador had been with him for the longest time and knew his thoughts the best. Without waiting for his orders, he said, "I have already sent someone to investigate." Chapter 2098. Seeing him like this, Old Manly knew that something had happened. What happened? Old Du sighed before he could speak. Old Manly knew that things were serious when he saw him like this. Don't sigh to yourself. Tell me what you heard. Something happened at Daliang Mountain, Old Du said. Old Manly thought that something big had happened. Hearing him say that, he said, something happened at Daliang Mountain. Why are you so worried? You can't enter the mountain for now. It'll be fine after a while. Besides, you don't have to go there. You can still get useful things from other places. As an itinerant cultivator, he had to keep looking for cultivation resources. If he could not find them, he could only buy them. For the sake of cultivation, they had to spend a lot of money. The best and most direct way was to enter the mountain. If they were lucky, they could get cultivation resources in the mountain. If they were unlucky, they could get some things and sell them in the city for money. That was why Old Manly advised him when he heard that something had happened in the mountain. If only that were the case. Old Du sighed heavily. Something happened at Daliang Mountain, but Daliang City was sealed off. We can only enter but not leave. I have nowhere to go now. What? Old Manly was astonished. Something happened at Daliang Mountain. Why would Daliang City be sealed off? Sigh. Old Du was extremely worried. He was on the verge of advancing recently. Initially, he wanted to go to Daliang Mountain to get some treasures. Now that something had happened, he had missed the opportunity to advance this time. He might not be able to advance again next time. Sima Yue saw that he was extremely worried. She said, "This city seal is definitely not a long-term thing. You don't have to spend money every day. Why are you so worried?" Old Du told them about his current situation. Only then did they know why he had such a big reaction when he heard the news. Sima Yue was silent for a while. She said to Old Du, "Old Du, I can provide you with the resources you need to advance." "What do you want me to do?" Old Du asked. Sima Yue smiled. He was quite smart. "You don't have to be so nervous. I won't ask you to do anything dangerous." Seeing Old Du jump up, she comforted him. "I just want to ask you to go out and gather information when you have time. See what's happening here, and pay attention to Hua Wuxiang's movements. These things are just trivial matters to you. Even if you don't have us, you still have to gather information." "All right." Old Du hesitated for a moment before agreeing. The condition of providing him with advancement resources was too tempting. He could not refuse at all. Even if he was asked to do something dangerous, he wouldn't be able to refuse, let alone ask him to do these things to gather information. Sima Yue took out some spirit stones and gave them to him. This was the best way to advance his cultivation. After giving him the things, she and Wu Lingyu went to find a room to rest. After they left, Old Du looked at the spirit stones in his hand and gulped. Even Old Manly was green with envy when he saw those spirit stones. Old Du noticed his gaze and quickly put away the spirit stones. He asked, "Old Li, who are these two people? They took out so many spirit stones just like that. Looks like they have a big background." "I don't know who they are either." Old Manly retracted his gaze awkwardly. "You've been following them for so long and you don't know? They didn't reveal it." "I didn't ask either." Old Manly said. "Although I don't know who they are, I know that they must not be provoked. This is also my advice to you. Don't be so vague with me. Tell me in detail, how powerful are they? Do you know that Happiness City's city lord, Nan Yu Miao, was captured?" "Of course I know about it," Old Du replied casually. He then realized that he was definitely not talking about this out of the blue. Could it be that they're behind this? That's right. And MB. Chapter 2099. Master Lu was confused. Oars? What oars? Hua Wuxiang looked at him as if he really didn't know, and her gaze became deep. "Where did you take the oars from Daliang Mountain?" The left ambassador asked. "Daliang Mountain's oars? I didn't take any oars," Master Lu said. "When I left, the mine hadn't opened yet." "Then why did you run away?" "Isn't the left ambassador and the others dead? So many people died. If we were the only ones alive, wouldn't it be hard to explain?" Master Lu said. The left ambassador was indeed dead. The left ambassador felt sad for a second, then continued to interrogate him. "How did the left ambassador and the others die? Why did they all die but you survived?" They were killed by the power. Thinking of the scene of their deaths, Master Lu's face showed deep fear. Dead, they are all dead. No one died completely. All of them died miserably. The left ambassador glanced at Hua Wuxiang, knowing that she also believed Master Lu's words. Tell me everything from the beginning to the end if you dare to lie. I'll talk. The threat didn't need to be said, but it was more shocking. Master Lu told them everything that happened after they entered the mountain. It wasn't the first time that the people in the room heard these things, so they weren't particularly surprised. What shocked them was the person that Master Lu mentioned. According to Master Lu, when he left, the mine hadn't opened yet, so the ores in the mountain must still be there. And from that time to when the guards found that the cold had disappeared and reported it, it was only 3 or 4 days. In other words, such a large mine was emptied in these 3 or 4 days. This news was too shocking, no matter who it was, no matter what method he used, it was too unbelievable. If this person was their enemy, the consequences would be unimaginable. After the left ambassador finished the interrogation, he asked someone to take him away, then said to Hua Wuxiang, "If what he said is true, then I'm afraid that soldier is not one of our soldiers." "Of course not. We can't afford to raise such a powerful soldier." Hua Wuxiang sneered. "Let him draw a portrait of that person, and put him on the wanted list." "Yes," the left domain ambassador replied. "Commander, can we lift the seal on the city? After so many days, many people are starting to have opinions. Some of the umbrella cultivators and rogue cultivators are already starting to make a fuss. Let the city lord deal with it. Those troublemakers don't need to stay." Hua Wuxiang said coldly. "Yes, Commander." The commander of the left winked at the person beside him. And that person went out to make the arrangements. Still no news from Nan Yu Miao? No. Previously, they appeared in Unscented City, but for some reason they escaped. Hua Wuxiang glanced at him indifferently. "Tell them to roll over here to receive their punishment. If there's a next time, they don't need to live to see me." Yes. Many people had died in Daliang City over the past few days. For a time, the people in the city were in a state of panic, afraid that they would one day be the ones to die. Later on, someone spread the news, revealing the incident at Daliang Mountain. At Old Du's house, he spat out the news he heard. "You guys don't know how amazing the rumors are out there. I wonder who the mysterious person is." Old Man Li was shocked. He thought about the date in the news. Was it not when they were at Daliang Mountain? Moreover, they had gone to the mine at that time too. Could it be that they were behind all this? If it was really them to be able to empty the entire mine in 3 or 4 days, then their ability. He glanced at Sima Yue. The latter was calmly sipping her tea, not at all concerned about this matter. And NBS. Chapter 2100. Old Li is too inflexible. He didn't know how to take advantage of such a good opportunity, Old Du said with a smile. These people had already agreed to let Sima Yue join the army once he was captured. As long as he could enter the army, he would have fixed cultivation resources in the future. "Did you kill him?" "Not to that extent. I just trapped them in my house. After all, we've known each other for so many years. He even saved my life before," Old Du said. "I have to say that Uncle Li is smarter than you," Sima Yue said. "He always understood that although riches are good, he still needs to be alive to enjoy them." "You want to take my life? I'm part of the army now. If you kill me, you'll be provoking Daliang City." Old Du knew that Sima Yue was powerful, but he had never seen it with his own eyes. Even if Old Man Li told him, he did not think that she could defeat the entire army. Sima Yue was so angry that she laughed. She did not expect him to be smart enough to escalate the situation to Daliang City's level. It was a pity that she was at her lowest point. "Don't you feel any discomfort in your body after the advancement?" she reminded him. "What did you do to me?" Old Du was shocked. He really felt that his body was weak after the advancement, and he could not exert any strength. He thought that it was the after-effects of the forced advancement, and that he would be fine after a few days. Now that he heard her say that, it was definitely not because of that. "It's nothing. I just poisoned you a little. If you're obedient and don't cause any trouble for us, I'll give you the antidote before we leave." Unfortunately, you've chosen a dead end for yourself. Old Du looked at her in horror and clutched his chest. Impossible. How could I be poisoned? You'll know soon enough. I'm a kind person, so I'll let you know why you died. Sima Yue waved her hand after she finished speaking. Old Du clutched his throat and cried out with difficulty. He then fell to the ground and twitched twice before turning into black smoke and dissipating. From the beginning to the end, the soldiers did not say or do anything to stop her. They did not care about Old Du at all, and did not care whether he lived or died. After Old Du died, the leader said to Sima Yue, "Are you coming with us or are you going to be captured? Since you're so sincere, how can we make things difficult for you?" "Of course, to go with you," Wu Lingyu said. The captain was very satisfied with their attitude. He stepped to the side and said, "Then please." The soldiers stood to both sides and cleared to make way. Because the two of them were quite cooperative, and they knew that the two of them were very powerful, they had been ordered not to provoke them as much as possible before they came, so they did not tie them up. To the end, it to the Yuetu when Sima Yu saw Hua Wuxiang. He was talking to the left official. Both of them stopped when they entered. "Commander, I've brought them here." Hua Wuxiang gave the leader a look and he left. "You're the ones who captured Nan Yu Miao," Hua Wuxiang said calmly. It was hard to tell if he was happy or angry. "Yes," Wu Lingyu admitted. Sima Yue felt that she had to keep a low profile, and decided to let him handle this. "Why did you capture him?" "He provoked us." It was a simple but powerful reason. No one could refute it. "Where is he?" "We can't give him to you now." "What if you attack us again after we give him to you?" Wu Lingyu shook his head. "What do you want?" "It's simple. Let us go and we'll give him to you," Wu Lingyu said. "You captured my people and you want to end it so easily?" Hua Wuxiang narrowed his eyes and looked at them. "We didn't want to capture him. We just discovered his secret and he chased after us." Chapter 2101. Sima Yue was reluctant, but she still left with the servant. After they left, Hua Wuxiang asked the left domain chief, "What do you think about this?" "Commander, you know that I'm on good terms with Nan Yu Miao. That's why I didn't believe it at first. But judging from the way these two talk, their strength is also more powerful than we thought. Furthermore, they even said such things. I feel that there is an 80 to 90% chance that this is true," the left domain ambassador said. "It's because they look extraordinary that it's confusing. If this is just a ploy to lure us in, then the person behind this." Although Hua Wuxiang was angry, she did not let her anger get to her head. "I also hope that these two people made this up. That's why I want to investigate it myself. If he really did it, we'll definitely find something." "That's right. That's right. If he didn't do it, can you let me handle these two people?" the left domain chief said. Hua Wuxiang wanted him to avoid danger, but then she remembered that her domain chief of the right had been killed. It was not good to let others handle such a secretive matter, so she agreed. It seemed that she had to appoint a domain chief of the right as soon as possible. The left domain chief left immediately after receiving her approval. He did not care about these things here. His priority now was to investigate Nan Yu Miao. Sima Yue and the rest were brought to a small courtyard. It was called a courtyard, but it was just an empty space with 2 or 3 rooms. It was surrounded by walls and could barely be considered a courtyard. Sima Yue looked at the relatively clean room and pursed her lips. "There's actually such a small place here. But at least we weren't sent to prison." "I don't think there's any here," Wu Lingyu said. "Sima Yue, sometimes it was better not to say the truth." "Do you think they've investigated it?" She changed the topic. "They should have," Wu Lingyu said. "And the left domain chief should be the one doing it." "That man? Can he do it?" They could tell that the left domain chief was on good terms with Nan Yu Miao. If he was the one doing it, would he be able to find out? "He will," Wu Lingyu said confidently. "That's true." Sima Yue understood too. It was precisely because of the close relationship between the commander of the left and Nan Yu Miao that he had to investigate with all his might. If it was an ordinary matter, he would have covered it up. However, if he dared to cover up this betrayal, Once Hua Wuxiang found out about Nan Yumiao's matter one day, then the minister of the left's life would be in danger. Nan Yumiao had indeed done those things, so as long as he investigated, he would definitely find out. Therefore, they didn't have to worry at all. The left head of the army understood this as well. That was why he started investigating when he arrived at Happiness City. He was very diligent in his investigation. When the results were handed to him, he tried his best to control himself so that he wouldn't go berserk. Back to Daliang City. When Hua Wuxiang saw the evidence, the anger on her face slowly turned into ruthlessness. He crushed the cup in his hand and said through gritted teeth, "Mu Luofeng, good job." The governor of the left knelt on the ground, not daring to reply. Hua Wuxiang wasn't only angry about Nan Yumiao's betrayal, but also Mu Luofeng's interference. He waited for Hua Wuxiang's anger to subside before saying, "Commander, this Mu Luofeng is too much. All these years we've been fair and square in our competition, but now he's resorting to such methods. If we didn't discover it in advance, the consequences would be unimaginable. Commander, we can't just let it go like this." Mu Luofeng dared to do this, which means that he has already torn apart the last bit of skin. "I, Hua Wuxiang, will not rest until he's dead." Hua Wuxiang said fiercely, "Send someone to investigate, other than Nan Yumiao. Who else is there? Since they want to work for Mu Luofeng, we'll send them over." Yes. The left head of the left knew that this would be a huge purge. It was impossible for Mu Luofeng to only find Nan Yumiao. To be more precise, even someone as loyal as Nan Yumiao had been instigated to defect, the others wouldn't be able to resist the temptation. And N. Chapter 2102. Although the Scarlet Bees could not pry into many private matters like before, they were still useful in gathering information about the general public. She did not allow them to get close to Hua Wuxiang. They stayed in the garden and eavesdropped on the conversations of passers-by. For example, they could tell her who the newly appointed commander of the right captured yesterday, and how many people he killed today. She also knew about the major events that happened in the city. They stayed in the mountains for a few months at a time. Today, the two of them sat opposite each other under a tree at the top of a mountain. There was a small table in the middle with a tea set on it. Wu Lingyu was leisurely brewing tea for her. A gentle breeze blew and the fragrance of tea filled the air. Sima Yue rested one hand on the table and looked at the lush forest. She said, "More and more people have been coming in recently. It seems like Daliang City has been unsealed. They've been investigating for so long and there's no news at all. They probably think that the person who stole thee or has already left." Wu Lingyu said, "Daliang City is a big city. It can't be sealed forever. It's already rare that it's been sealed for so many months. Hee, I'm happy just thinking about how badly I've tricked him." Sima Yue laughed happily, her eyes curved into two crescent moons. Wu Lingyu smiled and shook his head. She was happy every time she talked about this. It was just tricking one person, but she could be happy for so long. He placed the brewed tea in front of her. She took a sip and narrowed her eyes in satisfaction. Everyone knew that the tea she brewed was delicious, but the tea she brewed was not as good as Wu Lingyu's. However, no one else knew about this. She was the only one who could drink the tea he brewed. Wu Lingyu liked to see her satisfied face. When she narrowed her eyes and smiled, it was like looking at a kitten. It made him want to tease her. She opened her eyes. There seems to be movement. He's finally leaving. Wu Lingyu asked calmly. Sima Yue heard the news from the Scarlet Bees and said, "They are gathering their men. They should be leaving soon. He's been fighting with Mu Luofeng for so many months. I reckon that there's going to be a result soon." Wu Lingyu said. Chu He's side has already received the news. He said that he's on his way here. We can't do this without Chi He. Sima Yue said, "But why are there demons in the Soul Society?" Wu Lingyu gave her a look, and she immediately understood. A portion of them were probably instigated, while the rest were people like him. However, most of them were still the former. After all, not everyone had that kind of strength. After a day, the Scarlet Bees sent back another message. Sima Yue's eyes lit up when she heard the news. Things were developing better than she had expected. Is there any good news? Wu Lingyu asked. With your people adding fuel to the fire, the relationship between the two sides has worsened. Now the two commanders are preparing to meet and discuss this matter properly. Sima Yue said. Chu He knows that the two of them are not on good terms. If we tell him about this matter again, he will definitely stop it. By then, it will be easy to handle. I hope that they are fast enough. Wu Lingyu had other worries. Since Qing Han is eyeing the Ghost Society covetously, he must have sent people to pay attention to the situation there. The matter of you coming to the Soul Society will not be able to be hidden from his eyes. As long as we can catch Chu He, it doesn't matter if we meet him. Sima Yue had also thought of this problem. At first, she was still a little worried. After thinking about it, she came here to find him anyway. As long as she had a bargaining chip, it didn't matter if he knew. The meeting of the two commanders will probably be more lively. Let's go and join in the fun. She smiled mischievously. I haven't seen Mu Luofeng yet. I don't know if this person is reliable. It would be great if his ability is proportional to his looks. Hua Wuxiang was in a bad mood recently. Previously, when Mu Luofeng came to watch the genius selection competition, he said those words. Chapter 2103. Hearing Hua Wuxiang's accusation, Mu Luofeng laughed. Am I not sincere, or do you have no intention to negotiate? If you want to negotiate, then what are those people hiding in the mountains for? Hua Wuxiang's heart sank. He even knew about the people she grew up in the mountains. This meant that his people were among them. How many people had he planted in his place? Thinking that his people were among her personal guards, Hua Wuxiang's face turned darker than the bottom of a pot. However, he did not have the time and energy to clean up the traitors. He could only not trust anyone now. Mu Luofeng snorted coldly at Hua Wuxiang. We all have the same idea, so don't try to fool each other. You've killed so many of my people. If you're willing to give me 10 cities, we'll settle this matter. Hua Wuxiang laughed. Mu Luofeng, I always knew that you're shameless. I didn't expect you to be this shameless. He was the one who reached out to her, but now he was making a false accusation and asking her to compensate for the cities. What a joke. Hee, it's impossible for me to give you 10 cities. Why don't you give me 10 cities and we'll settle this matter? How about it? If that's the case, we don't have to negotiate today. Then call your people out. Let's compete and see if you're the one who's going to die. Since Mu Luofeng had put it this way, Hua Wuxiang did not need to hide her people anymore. She clapped her hands and the hidden personal guards all ran out and surrounded Mu Luofeng and the others. Don't leave anyone alive. Mu Luofeng was ruthless and ordered his subordinates. Before they came, they were already ordered to take Hua Wuxiang's life if they were to fight. Therefore, a few of them attacked Hua Wuxiang. Hua Wuxiang had the same order, so Mu Luofeng was also surrounded by many people. The two commanders were the ones who suffered the most in this battle. Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu were hiding in the air. When they saw this scene, they could not help but laugh. If she did not have to hide her identity, she would have laughed out loud. I wonder when He will come, she said with her lips. Soon. Wu Lingyu replied. Sima Yue didn't know how he got the news, but if he said it would happen soon, then it would happen soon. Sure enough, not long after, she felt a powerful aura flying towards her. Very quickly, he came out of the spatial tunnel. He had a square face, and his murderous aura was similar to Dija's. However, Dija looked much more delicate than him. He coldly looked at the people fighting and released his aura. Those people could not resist and knelt down one after another. The battle ended just like that. Hua Wuxiang and Mu Luofeng didn't know that Chu He would come. Their business was done in secret. Now that they were caught, their arrogance was extinguished. They shouted in unison, General. You've grown up. Chao He snorted coldly at the two of them. Both of them lowered their heads. They lowered their heads, not because they felt that they had done something wrong, but because they felt a little embarrassed for disturbing him. Tell me, what's going on with you guys? Chao He knew that although the two of them were not on good terms, it was not to the extent of shedding all pretense of cordiality and doing such a thing. General, You know that Nan Yu Miao and the rest are my capable subordinates. However, Mu Luofeng instigated them to rebel. I was so angry that I killed a few of his city lords to vent my anger. He then sent people to kill my city lords. Just now, I wanted to reconcile, but the moment he came, he asked me to give him 10 cities. Hua Wuxiang complained. How many? Mu Luofeng was furious. He pointed at him and said, You clearly killed more than 20 of my city lords. So what if I killed a few of your city lords? I only killed a few of your city lords. Also, it was you who killed more than 20 of my city lords. Mu Luofeng, you still have the nerve to say this to me after doing all these things? Hua Wuxiang jumped up. You bastard, you're slandering me. You. Enough? The two of them quarreled regardless of the occasion. Chapter 2104. Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu came out from the space. At this point, there was no need to hide anymore. Everyone says that the general of the Soul Society is very smart. It's no wonder my cousin can't win against you. She smiled at Qihi, not embarrassed at all for tricking him. It's you guys. Hua Wuxiang shouted when she saw Sima Yue. I didn't expect that the little princess of the Ghost Society would give up her own body just to come to the Soul Society. Mu Luofeng sneered. Abandoning one's own body was looked down upon in the ghost world. Don't you know that I only had my soul when I came to the ghost world? Sima Yue said. How is that possible? Everyone couldn't believe it. If she died and came to the ghost world, how could she appear in the Ghost Society and not the Soul Society? She obviously had her previous memories, or else she wouldn't have recognized the Ghost King. But how was that possible? You don't have to worry about that. Sima Yue didn't want to say so much to them. Little princess, you're really brave. You dare to come to the Soul Society alone. Qihi looked at Sima Yue with shining eyes. He couldn't take down Dija before, but now he had Sima Yue as his weakness. As long as he could capture her, it was equivalent to capturing Dija's weak spot. He didn't believe that he couldn't defeat Dija this time. I've always been brave. Otherwise, I wouldn't have dared to trick you guys. You guys didn't disappoint me. You guys really lured General Xiao here. Sima Yue said. You guys swore, why are you fine? Hua Wuxiang couldn't figure it out. Because we didn't know about this before we came to the Azure Dragon Soul Society. Sima Yue said with a smile. Since it's true, how can we swear? Then how did you know about Nan Yu Miao? Mu Luofeng asked. Someone wanted to eat me, but I killed him. Coincidentally, that person was the one who discovered what happened between you and Nan Yu Miao. Sima Yue said. I really have to thank you. Otherwise, I wouldn't know how to lure General Qihi out of the imperial capital. You want to deal with me? For Dija? Qihi said. No, I just want to ask the general for a favor. Sima Yue said. Would the general be willing? Qihi smiled. I also want to ask the little princess to do me a favor. I don't know if you are willing. It seems like our plans are in conflict. Let's see whose fist is harder. Sima Yue waved her hand and thousands of ancient war souls appeared and quickly surrounded Qihi and the rest. You are the one who went to the ancient battlefield. Seeing these ancient fighting souls, Mihi's eyes flashed. As long as he could capture Sima Yue, he would be able to obtain these ancient fighting souls. Sima Yue didn't answer him. She waved her hand and the ancient fighting souls moved together. Qihi was indeed the general of the Soul Society. His strength was much stronger than Dija. The ancient fighting souls couldn't even take him down when they worked together. Seeing that the two ancient fighting souls were about to be destroyed, Wu Lingyu's figure flashed, and he started fighting with Qihi. The moment Wu Lingyu came, Qihi felt an oppressive aura. He knew that this person's strength wasn't any weaker than him. He used all his energy to deal with him. However, he wasn't Wu Lingyu's opponent. In the end, he was subdued by Wu Lingyu. Before that, the ancient fighting souls had already killed everyone here. Only Hua Wuxiang and Mu Luofeng were left. Sima Yue looked at the trapped Qihi and the rest, and smiled with satisfaction. One general and two commanders. This is enough. What do you want to do? Mu Luofeng tried to struggle out, but it was useless. You don't have to worry about this. You just have to pray that you are important enough in Qing Hun's heart. After Sima Yue finished speaking, she used the spirit stone to keep all of them. He seemed to have guessed something. However, before he could think about it, he was kept in the spirit stone. He saw that Sima Yue had set up a restriction on the spirit stone to prevent them from escaping. Forget it. Let's see what she wants to do. The three of them were injured. They should take this opportunity to recuperate. The humiliation today, they must return it back in the future. Sima Yue set up the restriction and kept all the ancient fighting souls. Then, she smiled sweetly at Wu Lingyu. Lingyu, let's go to the imperial capital. The news of General Qi He, Commander Hua Wuxiang and Mu Luofeng's disappearance spread quickly. When Sima Yue and the rest arrived at the imperial capital, the news had already spread throughout the entire Soul Society. A lot of people started to panic. Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu entered the imperial capital and found an inn to stay in. They didn't look for Qing Han immediately. In the room, He Yin was lying on the floor with a ball tied to his tail. He was wagging his tail to tease little He. As for little Black, that idiot, it was really jumping around with its tail to bite the ball. Sima Yue saw this scene and couldn't help but twitch her mouth. She was helpless towards little He's stupidity. Wu Lingyu was chatting with someone in the house. He glanced over and continued to instruct his subordinates. Yu, why don't we look for Qing Han? He Yin asked confusedly. It's still early. Sima Yue decided to ignore little He. What's still early? Time. Sima Yue saw that He Yin still didn't understand and explained. He has always been handling those things. He has never left and nothing has happened. Therefore, Qing Han might not think that He is that important. After all, he has many capable people under him. After some time, he will realize that He is indispensable and the weight in our hands will be heavier. I see. He Yin understood. You humans are really full of twists and turns. Sima Yue didn't force the beasts to understand. She poked little He's head. Go and play. Don't bully little He. Little He likes to play like this. He Yin giggled. Sima Yue looked at little He who was jumping around happily and rubbed her eyebrows. Seeing that Wu Lingyu had already asked his people to leave, she turned around and walked over. What the eye doesn't see, the heart doesn't grieve over. Have you given the orders? Yes, we'll just wait here. Wu Lingyu said. Okay. She went over and hugged Wu Lingyu. She stuffed herself into his arms. She didn't need to ask whether these people were reliable or not. She also didn't need to know what would happen. As long as he was here, she didn't need to care about anything. There's an alchemy competition in the capital. Do you want to go and take a look? Wu Lingyu asked. There must be something special about the competition that caught your attention. Sima Yue looked up and said. The final prize is Tianlai solution. What's the use of Tianlai solution? It's useful for your mother. However, he didn't say what it was useful for. Sima Yue's interest was piqued when she heard it. Really? Then let's go. When the competition ends, it should be ready. Chapter 2105. Wu Lingyu went to find the innkeeper to find out the location of the registration for the alchemy conference. Then he brought Sima Yue to sign up. What was different from the past was that this time, Wu Lingyu was going to participate personally. This was the first time the two of them had met. I thought you didn't like these things? Why are you participating this time? After returning from the registration, Sima Yue blinked and looked at him. Don't tell me you think that my alchemy skills won't win in the end? Wu Lingyu reached out his hands to ruffle her hair, messing it up. Then he didn't say anything. The look in his eyes before he left made her instantly understand that he was doing this to please his future mother-in-law. She took her hair apart and combed it again. Then she muttered, what's there to be embarrassed about? He even dared to ruffle my hair. What a tsundere. As she was combing her hair, she suddenly stopped. She lowered her head to look at the strands of hair in her hands. Each strand was no longer condensed for her by the ancestor. It was real hair. Even though she was used to the state of her soul, she still missed her body. Wu Lingyu said before that with her current abilities, she would be able to go back after saving her mother. Then he would come and marry her. Thinking about his promise, she couldn't help but smile. A few days later, the two of them went to the competition venue. After handing over the number plates they received during the registration, the guards at the entrance let them in. After entering, Sima Yue went to the spectators' stand while Wu Lingyu went to the competition venue. In the past, she was the one competing while Wu Lingyu was the spectators' stand. This time it was finally the other way around. This feeling was really fresh. Wu Lingyu felt her gaze. He turned around and smiled at her. This smile was so beautiful that all the girls around him lowered their heads shyly. "I'm not looking at you, why are you all so shy?" Sima Yue was unhappy and glared at him. "Don't smile." Wu Lingyu stopped smiling. His eyes were filled with helplessness. He only smiled because he saw her smile, okay? After a short while, everyone who was participating in the competition had arrived. Sima Yue sat on the viewing platform and looked down. There was a dense mass of people. There are actually so many people. The competition this time will definitely be intense. The people at the side discussed. "Isn't that so? I've never seen so many people in previous competitions." "That's because the prize this time is too tempting." "That's true. The prize for the first place is very useful for us women. If we can get it, it's also very good for us." "I wonder how many people are participating for Hongyan. I'm afraid there are quite a few. These people are not all here for the prize." "Oh, how do you know?" After every competition, those outstanding alchemists will be selected. Even if they can't stay here with his honor, it's good to be selected by the various commanders. Even if you can't be chosen by the commander, as long as you achieve good results in the competition, you will be treated as an honored guest when you go to various cities. No wonder there are more and more people participating in the alchemy competition these past few years. Since alchemists will be selected from here, does that mean that his honor and those commanders will also come? You've come to watch the competition before, right? Will they come? They did come in the past, but not this time. Why? Is it because of the disappearance of General Qi He, Commander Hua, and Commander Mu? And it's said that everyone is very busy recently. The competition hasn't started yet. Who knows, they might come. The people who were speaking were just a row behind Sima Yue. Sima Yue heard their words clearly. From the conversation, one of them should be someone with a high status in the imperial city. After all, she was able to know so many things clearly. Sima Yue touched her ears. She was somewhat curious as to whether or not those people would come. She thought about the things that Wu Lingyu asked people to do. They probably didn't have the mood and energy to come. Sure enough, until the competition started, no important people came. It seemed that they were all busy with things. She saw that Wu Lingyu finished the first round of competition very quickly. In order to keep a low profile, he deliberately slowed down his speed. Chapter 2106. When those people left, Sima Yue sized up Qing Han. She always thought that the person who made use of her mother to cause a war between the Soul Society and the Ghost Society, and forced her mother to choose to suppress her would look like a despicable person. However, Qing Han looked very different from what she had guessed. When she thought of the orderly scene in the Soul Society, she felt that Qing Ming was indeed not weak in terms of governance. It was a pity that he was too ambitious and the conflict between both parties could not be resolved. Qing Han was also sizing up Sima Yue. Although he already knew that she looked like Yu Kaluo, it was still different when he saw it with his own eyes. "Sima Yue, you captured my general and commander and still dare to come to the capital," he said faintly. "Of course I have to come. If I don't, how can I see you?" Sima Yue smiled. "What do you want to do by capturing Che He and the rest?" "Of course I want to negotiate with you," Sima Yue said. "Without Che He, your Soul Society has been peaceful recently, right? Without Mu Luofeng and Feng Wuxiang, the two finance ministers, there should be problems with resources. It's not impossible for me to return them to you, but you have to give me something in exchange." Qing Han was surprised. He thought that Sima Yue captured Che He for the Ghost Society. He did not expect that she only wanted to exchange something. "What do you want in exchange? I think you should know what I want." Qing Han stared at her. He did not know what she was thinking. "I want the Western God's seal." Sima Yue directly stated her request. Give me the Western God's seal, and I will return your general and commander to you. You want the Western God's seal? Qing Hun knew what she wanted to do with it. You want to save your mother? That's right. Today's matter is all thanks to you. If you did not change the seal, I would not have come to you for the Western God's seal. Sima Yue said, how about it? A Western God's seal in exchange for your general and commander. Isn't this a good deal? The Northern God's seal has been missing for many years. It's useless even if you have the Western God's seal. Since the 3 divine seals are here, the divine seal of the North must be here as well. I'll find it eventually. You don't have to worry about that. You just have to give me the Western divine seal. Sima Yue said. Clear Soul was a bit hesitant. The Western divine seal was an ancient divine artifact. Even without the Northern divine seal, the remaining 3 divine seals wouldn't be able to unleash their full potential. Each of them was still very powerful. He was a little unwilling to give it to Sima Yue just like that. Moreover, she wanted to use it to save Yu Kaluo. This woman would rather be suppressed than marry him. He could not take this lying down. Sima Yue saw that he was not happy. She took out a soul crystal and held it in her hand. She did not say anything and just looked at him. As long as she crushed the soul stone, the 3 people inside would vanish into thin air. No one would be able to save them. Qing Hun understood her silent threat. If it was in the past, he might not have accepted her threat. However, after experiencing so much, he understood that Chao He was irreplaceable to the Soul Society. Now he finally understood why Sima Yue did not come to find him after capturing Chao He. This was the effect she wanted. Seeing Sima Yue clenching her fists, he knew that he did not have much time to think. All right, I promise you. He knew that there was no room for negotiation from the start. He could only accept her threat. She had grasped his lifeline. He took out the Western Divine Seal, while Sima Yue took out the Eastern Divine Seal. They injected spiritual power into each other. The light from the 2 divine seals merged together and proved the authenticity of the Western Divine Seal. Clear Soul retracted his spiritual power and threw the Western Divine Seal over. Wu Lingyu's figure flashed and caught the Western Divine Seal. Sima Yue did not expect Clear Soul to give it to her so readily. She held the soul crystal and said, I want you to promise me something. What is it? This is your territory. If you send people to kill me, I won't be able to leave safely. Sima Yue said, I want you to promise me that you won't send people to kill us. All right. I promise you. Clear Soul even gave the Western Divine Seal to Sima Yue. This condition was nothing. Straightforward. Sima Yue released the seal and released Chao He and the other 2 who were trapped inside. Chao He and the other 2 were stunned for a moment before they reacted. When they saw Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu, they were about to attack. Stop. Hearing Clear Soul's voice, Chao He subconsciously stopped. He turned around to look at Clear Soul and called out to his honor. Let them go, Clear Soul said. But his honor. Clear Soul only took a glance at him, and Chao He knew that this matter was irreversible. However, he was not willing to accept this. General Chao He, don't act blindly without thinking. You guys know what happened just now from the soul crystal. Do you guys want your honor to become a villain who doesn't keep his words? Sima Yue said with a smile. Sima Yue. Chao He gritted his teeth and shouted her name. Don't look at me like that. You're so fierce. I'm timid. I'll be scared. Sima Yue patted her chest and leaned towards Wu Lingyu. She looked as if she was scared. When Clear Soul and the rest saw her like this, they wanted to tear her smile apart. If she was timid, then there wouldn't be anyone who was brave in this world. Chao He had never been so humiliated in his life. No matter whether Clear Soul agreed to let her leave safely or not, he would not let her leave the Soul Society's territory. General Chao He, you should really keep your killing intent. Sima Yue said. I know that you want to kill me. I reckon that once I leave the imperial capital, I'll be hunted down. You can try. Chao He laughed coldly. I won't try. Sima Yue said. I cherish my life a lot. I don't want to try such a dangerous thing. So for my safety, I've poisoned you. If I can return to the Ghost Society safely, I'll immediately send the antidote to you. Of course, You can also detoxify yourself. If I haven't left the Soul Society after you detoxify, you can send people to kill me. Clear Soul and the rest looked at Chao He. They wanted to know if Sima Yue was telling the truth. The moment Chao He activated the soul power in his body, he immediately felt dizzy and weak. He almost couldn't stand properly. With one look, it was clear that he had indeed been poisoned. When did you order the poison for me? Chao He could barely stand properly with the help of Ruin Valley. He had been with Mu Luofeng and Hua Wuxiang. He didn't know when Sima Yue poisoned him. That's my problem, Sima Yue said. I hope that we won't meet again. After she finished speaking, she and Wu Lingyu's figures slowly disappeared. Your Honor? Everyone looked at Clear Soul and waited for his orders. Chapter 2107. This incident was a huge humiliation to Qing Hun, Che He and the entire Soul Society. Hence, they must not be allowed to leave the Soul Society. As long as Qing Hun gave the order, the people they had prepared would immediately take action and start an endless hunt for her. Even if she had many ancient war souls, she would not be able to go against the million-strong army of the Soul Society. However, Qing Hun had no intention of killing Sima Yue. Help the general down and get poison Dr. Xiao. After speaking, he disappeared from the spot. The rest of the people looked at each other and could only help Che He back. Although they were unwilling, without Qing Hun's order, they did not dare to take action. Now they could only hope that poison Dr. Xiao could cure Che He's poison, so that they would have a chance to kill Sima Yue. Poison Dr. Xiao was a capable old man. As soon as he examined Mama, he became excited. This poison is instant. He touched his small beard and was full of interest. If you don't use your soul power, there won't be any reaction. However, once you use your soul power, it will devour your life force. I have never seen this poison before. I wonder who has such a powerful ability. Poison Dr. Xiao, don't admire that person. He is from the Ghost Society. Su Yu said. You should hurry and see if the general's condition is serious. Can you cure this poison? It's actually someone from the Ghost Society. Poison Dr. Xiao was disappointed. If it was someone from there, it would not be easy for him to find that person. It is indeed someone from the Ghost Society. Have you seen the general's condition? How is he? Su Yu asked anxiously. If not for Poison Dr. Xiao's special body, he would have taken action. Oh General, although this poison is harmful to the body, as long as the general does not use his soul power in these few months, there won't be any harm, Poison Dr. Xiao said. Then can you develop an antidote? Aren't you asking the obvious? Who am I? How can I not develop an antidote? Poison Dr. Xiao scoffed. Give me a month's time. I will develop an antidote for you. All right. Then I will have to trouble Poison Dr. Xiao. 1 month wasn't a long time. Sima Yue and the rest couldn't possibly leave the Soul Society in such a short time. First, he sent out the message and asked them to pay close attention to Sima Yue's whereabouts. Once the general's poison was cured, they would immediately start hunting her down. However, the imagination was plentiful, while the reality was bony. A month later, Poison Dr. Xiao did not manage to develop the antidote. Ever since he started developing the antidote, he realized that this poison was much more difficult to cure than he had expected. The estimated time of 1 month was simply not enough. The Ruin Valley had sent people to urge him many times, but to no avail. In the end, they had even angered Poison Dr. Xiao, and the people who had gone to urge him were carried back horizontally. Seeing the people who had been knocked down, Ruin Valley calmed down a little. After another month and a half, Poison Dr. Xiao finally delivered the antidote. They spent a total of 2.5 months, and Sima Yue and the others had already covered more than half of the journey. Chi He took the antidote and finally got rid of the poison. Ruin Valley heaved a sigh of relief. After informing Chi He immediately went to make arrangements. On the other side, Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu had rushed for more than 2 months, and found a valley to rest. I'm afraid that the rest of the journey won't be so peaceful, Sima Yue said. The bees that we left in the imperial capital sent news that Chi He's poison has been cured. Isn't this about the same time as what you estimated? Wu Lingyu wasn't in a hurry. He had already thought about it. I estimated that it would take at least 3 months. Now only 2.5 months have passed. The person who cured the poison is much more powerful than I thought, Sima Yue said. We have rushed for more than 2 months, and now we are not far from the border, Wu Lingyu said. In less than a month, we will be able to return to the Ghost Society. Let's go to the Spirit Pagoda to rest. She brought Wu Lingyu in. Chapter 2108. The other party's men were all killed. Those few old fellows were killed by Wu Lingyu and the others. The remaining people were killed by the black-robed men. You guys are too daring. Aren't you afraid that Qing Hun will find out? Sima Yue was touched, but she didn't agree with their actions. Yan Jin and Bandit 1 took off the black cloth on their faces and smiled. Why didn't you find us when you came to the Soul Society? I was afraid that I would bring trouble to you. Sima Yue smiled. I didn't expect you guys to come. It was such a big matter. If they weren't careful, they would be targeted by Qing Hun. Qing Hun tolerated them previously because they were hard to deal with, and because they were from the Soul Society. They wouldn't harm the Soul Society's interests. But this matter was obviously going against Qing Hun. A ruler couldn't tolerate sand in his eyes. Even if he had to pay a heavy price, he would definitely get rid of them. Don't worry, we are very careful. They won't be able to find out, Bandit 1 said. The people I brought are my trusted men. They are bound by an oath, Yan Jin said. It was such a big matter. He couldn't bring people he didn't trust. People bound by an oath wouldn't betray him. Knowing that they had arranged everything, Sima Yue was relieved and asked, How did you guys get here? Let's change a place to talk, Bandit 1 suggested. Sure. After being separated for so many years, she wanted to have a good chat with them. Yan Jin asked his men to stay behind to clean up the traces of the battle. They left the battlefield and found a quiet place to chat. You guys haven't told me how you guys got here, Sima Yue said. This place is quite far from your territory. It's indeed not close, Yan Jin said. But after hearing about what happened in the imperial capital, Bandit 1 guessed that you would come here. He also guessed that you would be killed here. That's why we brought people here. I couldn't tell that Bandit 1 was a fortune teller. Sima Yue smiled, but thank you guys. Bandit 1 was a little embarrassed and changed the topic. You brat, you always cause a lot of trouble wherever you go. You even captured the general and commander. Wasn't this caused by Qing Hun himself? Sima Yue snorted. If he didn't change the seal, I wouldn't have to go through so much trouble. You're still in the right. Of course. If it wasn't for the things he did, I wouldn't have needed the seal of the North. If it wasn't for the Northern God's seal, I wouldn't have done this, Sima Yue said. Is this really the worst plan? Yan Jin looked at her. Of course. Although I don't know what method you have, this is definitely not the only method. You did it on purpose, didn't you? Sima Yue smiled. There are other ways, but Sui he always finds trouble for my cousin. You little girl. Che he is so lucky to have a cousin like you. Yan Jin was very envious. What little girl? I'm your junior master. Sima Yue put on airs. Speaking of your junior master, I heard that you created a legend in the secret sect. Bandit E shook his head as he thought of what he heard. It's all because those fellows in the secret sect wanted to see it. If it wasn't for hiding all these years, I wouldn't have a moment of peace. Sima Yue complained. Indeed, after you left, the secret sect became much more lively. Bandit E said. Even after you left, your legend has been circulating in the secret sect. Those who have just joined the secret sect have never seen you before, and are clamoring to fight for you as their goal. How do you know so much about the secret sect? Sima Yue was curious. Didn't they not care about the secret sect after they left? The secret sect needs news from the outside, so we can't really be considered to have left the secret sect, Yan Jin said. No wonder. Sima Yue nodded in understanding. No wonder what? Bandit E asked, puzzled. I was thinking that even if the two of you are powerful and rejected Qing Hun when he tried to recruit you, he shouldn't have let you off so easily, Sima Yue said. But if he knew that you were still in contact with the secret sect, he wouldn't have made things difficult for you. It was also because of their confidence that they were able to. Chapter 2109. Sima Yu originally wanted to rest for a while before heading to Avicii Hell. However, thinking that Gu Zhanhun's injuries had not fully healed and this period of time had tired them out, she agreed to Deja's suggestion and decided to rest for a few days before setting off. Deja arranged a courtyard for her and Wu Lingyu. Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu had not had a good rest for a long time. They went back and slept for a whole day. When Deja heard the news from Di Lu, his heart ached. She's too tired. Yes, the little princess is too tired. This trip to the Soul Society was not easy. She just came back and wanted to go to the Avicii Hell. If you didn't stop her, she would be on her way again. Di Lu's heart ached for Sima Yue. They slept right after they came back. It showed how tired they were. Even so, she still wanted to go there directly. Tell everyone not to go near that courtyard, Deja ordered. I've already told them. Di Lu had already thought of this. Okay. Sima Yue had a good sleep. When she woke up, she felt refreshed. She opened her eyes and saw Wu Lingyu looking at her with one hand on his head. Did you sleep well? Wu Lingyu's magnetic voice sounded above her head. Her heart melted. She felt like she was being hypnotized. In her hazy sleepiness, she wrapped her arms around his neck and leaned forward with a little force, pressing her lips against his. Wu Lingyu's lips curled up into a smile. His big hand held her head and deepened the wake-up kiss. After kissing for a long time, Wu Lingyu let go of her and complained. You forced a kiss on me. I forced you. Why? Are you not willing? Of course I'm willing. I want you to force yourself on me 1,000 times every day. Go, force yourself on you 1,000 times every day. Then we won't be able to get out of bed. It's good not to get out of bed every day. Dirty. You're the one who forced yourself on me. You're dirty. Where is this guy's face? The two of them stayed in bed for a long time before they got up and went to find Deja. Deja was training his troops when Di Lu led them in. Deja nodded at the two of them. You came at the right time. What do you think of these soldiers? The Soul Domain and Ghost Domain were huge, and their armies numbered in the tens of millions. Not every one of them was an expert. Naturally, there would be some weak soldiers. When two armies were fighting, the stronger ones would avoid these armies and fight elsewhere, so these small soldiers were still quite important. Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu walked up to the podium and stood side by side with Deja. When the soldiers below saw Sima Yue walking up, they called her little princess in unison. These people are in good spirits. Sima Yue said. I hope their combat power is as strong as their spirits. They are all people who have experienced war, so they look better than normal soldiers. Speaking of war, I came to talk to you about it. Sima Yue said. I was too tired that day, so I didn't say much. Deja knew that she had something important to say, so he asked his men to stay here and watch the training. He went back with them. What's the matter? Actually, it's nothing much. I just feel that I should remind you. Qing Hun and Qi He suffered a huge loss in my hands this time. They wanted to kill me, but they didn't succeed. They will definitely vent their anger on other things. You're saying that they might start a war? I think it's very likely. They have always been eyeing us covetously. This time, I gave them such a good excuse. They might use this chance to attack us. Okay, I got it. I'll ask my men to take note of this. You don't have to worry about this. Sima Yue knew that he had already taken this seriously, so she didn't need to emphasize anymore. She took out a book and passed it to Deja. This book is for you. What book is this? Deja took the book and flipped it open. He realized that it wasn't printed, but handwritten. The ink on the book was very new. It was obvious that it was written not long ago. This is some of the strategies I know in the past. Although it might not be suitable for the current situation, you might be able to learn something from it. Sima Yue said. Deja flipped through the book and was attracted by the contents. He praised, Some of the strategies in this book are quite useful. I've even used a few of them before. These strategies will be very effective when used in a war. It's good that it's useful. Sima Yue was very happy to be able to help. Cousin, I plan to go to the Avicii Hell as soon as possible. Didn't you say to rest for a few days? Since I know that the Soul Society might attack us, I want to go and settle this matter as soon as possible. If anything happens, I can come back and help. Sima Yue said. Deja thought that she was feeling guilty. He persuaded her. Let's not talk about whether this will happen or not. Even if they really attack us, they can't blame it on you. They have wanted to do this for a long time. This is just an excuse they need. Don't feel pressured. Do you think that I will feel guilty? Sima Yue shook her head. To be honest, I don't feel any regret or guilt. Even if they really send out their troops, and many innocent lives are lost, I won't regret it. In my heart, my mother is the most important. It's good that you can think this way. I'm just afraid that you will feel burdened. I just feel that if this war is really caused by my actions, then I should also contribute a little. All right. Deja understood her. Although she wouldn't regret her decision, she would still feel some pressure in her heart. He could only let her go and come back as soon as possible. Sima Yue stayed for a few more days. Seeing that the ancient battle souls had almost recovered, the remaining injuries could be healed while she was on the road, she and Wu Lingyu left Ghost Realm, and used the method Deja gave them to enter Avicii Hell. The Avicii Hell was very different from the Ghost Society and the Soul Society. This was the most barren place in the ghost world. Cultivation resources were especially scarce here. Thus, there were situations where people would fight over small things. The most special thing about this place was that it had special rules. Anyone who broke an oath in any other continent would be punished by the heavens and sent here. And those who came here would never be able to leave the Avicii Hell, because of the rules. They could only stay in this man-eat-man place. Of course, those who were born here could use other methods to leave, just like Silmer and the others in the Dark Sea City. Both of you stop. Hand over the things on you and I will let you live. Chapter 21:10. Sima Yue was slightly startled. They had just arrived at the Avicii Hell, and they were already being robbed. She and Wu Lingyu turned around and saw more than 10 people walking towards them in a ruffian manner. This is the first time I've encountered a robbery. It's quite interesting. Sima Yue was slightly excited. Yes, it's interesting. Wu Lingyu had also not been robbed before. It was also a type of courage to dare to rob them. They just didn't know if these people were prepared to die. Hand over all your space storage items, and we'll spare your lives. Hurry up, don't make us repeat this 3 times. Sima Yue laughed. Really? The last person who wanted to kill me paid a heavy price. Are you sure you want to imitate him? Little girl, you can't boast so casually. Be careful not to bite your tongue. Then let's see who will bite their tongue first. Sima Yue finished speaking and immediately attacked those people. Teleportation, assassination, teleportation, assassination again. She was too fast. They didn't even see her figure clearly, and they were all killed. From the start to the end, Wu Lingyu didn't make a move. Sima Yue used her divine senses to enter boss's mind and read his memories. You have the nerve to rob people with such little strength. You've disgraced your grandmaster grandfather. She released him, and the corpse turned into black smoke and dissipated. The soul-sucking technique that Mou taught you is not bad, Wu Lingyu said. I think it's not bad too. Sima Yue smiled and said, these people couldn't stay in the Soul Society, and were forced to come to the Avicii Hell. They haven't been here for a long time, so there isn't much information. It's okay if there isn't. We'll know once we enter, Wu Lingyu said. Okay. Sima Yue wasn't disappointed. It wasn't common for people to get important information from the Soul Society, just because they met the bearded man. The Southern God Seal is in Mulan's hands. We don't know what Mulan's attitude is now. We can only go over first and observe the situation. Are we going to the capital now? Wu Lingyu asked. Sima Yue looked in the opposite direction of the capital and said faintly, no, let's go to another place first. Wu Lingyu looked at her darkened face and knew where she was going. 2 months later, Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu arrived at a barren mountain. They were blocked outside the mountain by a restriction. There was no vegetation on the charred ground, nor was there a single living creature. It could be said that everything was silent. For some reason, the temperature here was particularly high. Even standing on the mountain, one could feel the scorching heat. So this is the place where Mother was suppressed? It's so desolate. Sima Yue murmured. It's so hot. Mother has been locked up in this place for more than 100 years. She must have suffered. Soon. Wu Lingyu hugged her shoulder and comforted her. Yes, soon. No matter what, I have to get the Southern Godly Seal. Sima Yue clenched her fists. Do you want to go in? Wu Lingyu asked. Can I? But I don't dare to attack this restriction forcefully. It would be bad if I hurt Mother. Therefore, she still wanted to see it. Let's try. If your grandfather can enter, I think it should be possible. Wu Lingyu walked forward, but a restriction stopped him outside. He reached out and touched the restriction. It did not attack him. It seemed that this restriction was meant to stop people, not hurt them. Wu Lingyu grabbed Sima Yue with his other hand. She did not know what he did, but Sima Yue felt a blinding white light suddenly appear. She subconsciously closed her eyes. Then she felt her body flying. When she opened her eyes, the two of them were inside the restriction. Cough cough. Wu Lingyu coughed twice. Sima Yue saw that he did not look well. She supported him and asked, Lingyu, how are you? Wu Lingyu did not hide his condition. He smiled weakly and said, this restriction should be connected to the seal. Chapter 21:11. Sometimes when she thought about it, after experiencing so many things along the way, was it hard? The answer was yes. In these years, other than the time in the hidden sect to relax and study, she had been running around for various things and rarely had time to relax. But did she regret it? She never regretted it, not even once. Fortunately, her efforts were rewarded and she could see the hope of victory. Father, wait here. When we reach Mother, I will let you go out to meet her. Sima Yue said. I will go out with you. Sima Luxian requested. Father, we don't know what's going on outside. If you go out, it will be too dangerous or... Sima Yue saw his gaze and her heart softened. Time passed faster in the spirit pagoda than outside. Even if she only needed a few days outside to find her mother, it would take more than 10 days in the pagoda. This was a torment for him. Then you have to follow us closely. If there is any danger, I will let you come back immediately. Okay. Sima Luxian agreed. After staying in the spirit pagoda for more than 10 days, Wu Lingyu's injury was completely healed. It had to be said that Elder Bai's effect on the soul was really great. The three of them left the spirit pagoda. Sima Luxian saw the charred mountain, and his heart ached when he thought of Yu Kuluo being suppressed in this place. Initially, she returned to the ghost realm because of them. She was also unwilling to betray their feelings, so she was suppressed in this place. It was all his fault for not being strong enough to protect her. He closed his eyes and didn't let his emotions spread. Sima Yue saw his self-blame and went up to hold his hand, saying, Father, let's go. Mother definitely doesn't know that we are here. She might be shocked. No matter what happened in the past, they should look forward. He nodded at Sima Yue. Let's go. They walked towards the middle of the mountain range. Grandmother said that their mother was suppressed in the middle of this place. They should be able to find their mother if they walked towards the middle. The closer they walked to the middle, the higher the temperature. Wu Lingyu was strong and could use underworld energy to resist. Sima Luxian was originally of the fire attribute, so this was nothing to him. The worst was Sima Yue. Now that she was a soul, fire was her nemesis. She was not strong enough. In the end, she could only let little birdie out to isolate the heat. The temperature here is strange. I suspect that there is something underground. Sima Luxian said. Fire has a suppressive effect on the ghost clan. Mother is here. I wonder how she will resist this heat. Sima Yue was worried about Yu Kuluo. Sima Luxian was also worried. The three of them quickened their pace and rushed to the middle. When she reached the mountain in the middle and saw the volcanic ash, she finally understood why it was so hot. This place was actually a volcano. Sima yue yu ku. Sima yue ku. Sima yue. Sima yue to the way. We'll know once we go down. Wu Lingyu said. Yes. Sima Yu was a little worried about whether Sima Luxian would be able to hold on. Wu Lingyu had already formed a protective circle around the three of them. I don't need it. With little birdie around, the magma and flames can't hurt me. Sima Yue said. You just need to protect father. The bigger the protective shield, the more energy it would consume. The smaller it was, the less pressure Wu Lingyu had, and he could protect Sima Luxian better. Wu Lingyu thought about it and shrunk the protective shield, just enough to cover him and Sima Luxian. Let's go down. Sima Yue took the lead and jumped down. Wu Lingyu brought Sima Luxian down as well. After descending a few hundred meters, they saw the shadow of the magma. Sima Yu condensed another layer of protection around herself, before plunging in head first. She led the way in front, and when the magma came into contact with little birdie, it unconsciously moved aside, opening up a path for her. Sima Yue was surprised. The magma actually knew how to make way for her. Could it be that it had developed intelligence? But now was not the time to think about this. She had to focus on the front to prevent any unexpected situations. Fortunately, nothing happened all the way down. She didn't know how far she fell, but she finally felt that something was different below. Wu Lingyu and Sima Luxian followed behind her without any hindrance, but this was only on the top. I see a space below. It should be the place where mother is being suppressed. There seems to be a restriction in front. Sima Yue had already landed on the restriction. She thought that she would be stopped, but she found that the restriction took the initiative to make way for her. Was this restriction afraid of little birdie? She had doubts in her heart, but she didn't have time to think about it because she fell into a dark hole, and the restriction above closed up after she fell, blocking Wu Lingyu and Sima Luxian from above. She wanted to go up and catch Sima Luxian, but she was interrupted by a sudden voice. Who is it? In the darkness, the voice was hoarse and weak. It wasn't as pleasant as Sima Luxian described it to her. Her voice was hoarse from being burned for too long. Sima Yue's tears flowed down immediately. Mother wasn't like what grandmother and the others said. She was just imprisoned. Yukuluo seemed to have sensed something. She widened her eyes in the darkness, wanting to see something from the place where the voice came from. Puchi. A weak light appeared in that place. Fortunately, the light was very weak. It didn't hurt Yukuluo's eyes that hadn't seen light for a long time. The light wasn't bright enough, but it was enough for them to see each other clearly. Sima Yue saw Yukuluo's thin figure, sunken cheeks and lifeless eyes. Her tears couldn't stop flowing. Compared to her heartache, Yukuluo was stunned. She looked at Sima Yue and said. She got up and wanted to go forward, but she was bounced back by a force after taking a few steps. She stood up and wanted to go over again. She only stopped when she saw Sima Yue shaking her head. Yue, you're Yue, aren't you? She looked at Sima Yue and didn't dare to blink. She was afraid that this was just her illusion. Although the person in front of her only looked 70% similar to her, she was sure that she was her daughter at first glance. Mother! Sima Yue shouted, confirming her guess. Sima Yue walked forward and wanted to test the seal, but she was bounced back by a force. No. Don't come over. Yukuluo saw that she was hurt and shouted with heartache. Don't come over, don't, it will hurt you. Sima Yue got up from the ground and saw that something was hidden in the four corners of this space. Chapter 21:12. Child, are you alright? Yukuluo looked at her worriedly. Sima Yue swung her arm that hurt from the fall and smiled at Yukuluo. Mother, I'm fine. The impact just now had eased their emotions from their first meeting. Yukuluo looked at Sima Yue with a loving gaze, but it was not as impulsive and irrational as before. Child, how did you get here? Yukuluo did not expect that she would be able to see her daughter in her lifetime. Grandfather told me that you were here. I happened to pass by, So I came to see you. Sima Yue explained. How did you? Yu Keluo could not believe it. It had only been 100 years, and she had the ability to come here. Mother, I know you have a lot of things to ask me, but I have to go up and pick up someone that you want to see the most. Sima Yue said. You mean? Yu Keluo looked at her, agitated and in disbelief. He was in the human realm. How could he come here? At this moment, she recalled that Sima Yue was actually a spirit body. Could it be that she had already? However, Sima Yue did not wait for her to ask and went up. She looked up. She had not lifted her head ever since she was locked here, because she knew that she had no chance to leave. In the past, she did not care. Without a lover and a child, what was the difference between being here and being outside? So she did not lift her head, did not look at the road, did not want to leave. But now things were different. Her daughter appeared in front of her. The person she loved might be here too. Her life seemed to have hope again. She had a lot of questions to ask her. She wanted to know how they had been all these years. She wanted to know how they came to the ghost realm. She also wanted to know how they came here. She desperately wanted to know everything about them. What she wanted to know more was whether he would really come down from above. It sounded too unbelievable. She still could not believe it. Sure enough, when Sima Yue came back, she was still alone. Yu Keluo was slightly disappointed. However, she immediately put away these emotions. Although she was upset that she couldn't see him, it was also good to see her daughter. Sima Yue stopped steadily and smiled when she saw the disappointment in her eyes that disappeared in a flash. If it were someone else, she might have teased them before letting them meet. But now that she was facing her own mother, she couldn't bear to see her disappointed and sad. So she smiled at Yu Keluo and called Sima Luxian and Wu Lingyu out of the spirit pagoda. When Sima Luxian came out, Yu Keluo was stunned. She looked straight at him and tears flowed down her cheeks. Kilo. Luxian. Sima Yue saw that the two of them were so excited that they didn't know what to say, so she said to Sima Luxian, Father, Lingyu and I will go in first. I will ask Little Spirit to shield you from the outside world. After saying that, she pulled Wu Lingyu into the spirit pagoda. Wu Lingyu was a little surprised by her reaction. Aren't you curious about what your parents said? I'm curious. But my parents have been separated for so long and have suffered so much. Now that they see each other again, they naturally have a lot to say. If we are outside, my parents will be embarrassed and can't let go. There are some things that they won't say. Sima Yue said. Besides, even if they don't listen to those words, they can guess what it is. Let's not be the third wheel. Okay. He wasn't interested in this kind of thing anyway. Lingyu, what I'm more curious about is the fire attribute here. Sima Yue said. Did you notice that when we came down, the magma took the initiative to make way for us? Yeah, I noticed. Taking the initiative to make way means that the magma has its own consciousness. It is afraid of little birdie. But under what circumstances would the magma have its own consciousness? Sima Yue said. Besides, grandmother wouldn't lie to me. She said that grandfather came to take care of mother, so grandfather should have been here before. But as you can see, mother's situation is very bad. Chapter 21:13. Yu Keluo's words made them silent for a while. If it was something that was produced here, then this guy was a little powerful. To be able to grow to this extent in such a short time, this guy must have something special. Sima Yue smiled. If that's the case, then it's even better. Why? Yu Keluo didn't understand. That guy was powerful. Not only was she not worried, she was even happy. Mother, Qi Yan is injured. If that guy is very powerful, Qi Yan will be able to recover after absorbing it. Sima Yue said. You and father continue, we'll be back in a while. After speaking, she brought Wu Lingyu and Qi Yan out. Yu Keluo wanted to say something, but Sima Yue was already gone. She lowered her head and saw Sima Luxian looking at her. She pulled a long face and said, It's so dangerous here, why didn't you stop her? Our daughter is very powerful. And Wu Lingyu and Qi Yan are with her, she'll be fine. Sima Luxian comforted her. They're very powerful? Who are these two people? What happened to our daughter? I don't want to know about you now. Tell me about our daughter. Sima Luxian. His daughter was more important than him. He felt a little down in his heart. Why are you still in a daze, tell me? Qi Yan is Yu's life contract beast. Wu Lingyu is our future son-in-law. What? Future son-in-law? You agreed? How is this person? Is he good to our daughter? How do they know each other? Who is he? Yu Kaluo exploded when she heard about the future son-in-law. A series of questions were thrown at him. Don't worry, our daughter's standards are not low. Sima Luxian saw her anxious look. He really wanted to go up and hug her to comfort her. Tell me about our daughter. No matter how big or small, you have to tell me everything you know. Yu Kaluo said. Okay, but when I tell you, you can't be agitated. You're like this now. It's not good for your body to be agitated. Sima Luxian said with heartache. All right. Crimson Flame is our daughter's contract beast. He is the divine vermilion bird. No one can resist his nirvana flame, so they will be fine even if they go down. Crimson Flame has absolute suppression on these things. Sima Luxian first told her not to worry about any meaningless safety. What about Wu Lingyu? Who is he? His matter is more complicated. Sima Luxian told him about the contract between Mo Sha and Sima Yue, and then about Wu Lingyu, and finally sighed. Originally, I didn't want to acknowledge him as I felt that his identity would bring a lot of trouble to you, but since you liked it, I didn't forcefully oppose it. She never thought that after the incident with the Sage Pavilion, he would actually pull out his soul and come to the ghost realm to look for his daughter, protecting her as she grew up. Seeing him like this, I can't bear to trip him up. Our daughter's taste is indeed not bad. Yu Kaluo was rather satisfied with Wu Lingyu after hearing all this. Yu has always wanted to save you before getting married, so their matter has been dragged on for so many years. After you go out, we can start preparing for the wedding. Sima Luxian couldn't bear to make things difficult for him, so he gave Yu Kaluo a heads up first. Can I still go out? The last time her imperial father came, he told her everything, including the news of the Northern Divine Seal being missing for many years. If she couldn't find the Northern Divine Seal, it would be useless even if she gathered the other 3 Divine Seals. Moreover, the other 2 Divine Seals were not so easy to obtain. Even Qing Hun's sighed he couldn't give it to her. Are you worried about the Cardinal Divine Seal? Sima Luxian said. Yes, the Northern Divine Seal is missing. Imperial Father said that it hasn't appeared for many years, and he doesn't know where it is, so Yue has already gathered all 3 Divine Seals. Sima Luxian said. All 3? Yes. The Northern Divine Seal, Eastern Divine Seal, and Western Divine Seal are all in her hands. Now only the Southern Divine Seal is missing. She found the Northern Divine Seal? How did she find it? Eastern Divine Seal. Why would Qing Hun give the Western Divine Seal to her? What did she do? Don't worry, listen to me slowly. Sima Yue, Wu Lingyu and Qi Yan left the cave and were immediately surrounded by hot magma. But the magma didn't have time to get close to their skin and absorb their vitality before it quickly retreated. Although there were no words, no movements or expressions, Sima Yue still felt fear from the magma. Overestimating yourself. Qi Yan coldly snorted and took them to fly underground. Fire elementals, an endless stream of fire elementals. He could feel them rushing into his body, making him so comfortable that he closed his eyes. There must be a good guy down there. Qi Yan was in a good mood. Sima Yue could naturally feel it. It would be best if the thing down there could help him. They kept flying down, and the lower they went, the hotter it got. Sima Yue couldn't take it anymore. Qi Yan felt her discomfort and said, "You guys wait here, I'll go down by myself." Sima Yue didn't intend to be stubborn, but she was worried about him going down alone. "You're still injured, let Lingyu go down with you. Let him protect you here." Qi Yan refused because he was worried about her. "No need, I'll release my realm here, the magma won't hurt me. Let Lingyu go with you." Sima Yue insisted and Qi Yan agreed. She released her realm, and with the protection of her realm, she wouldn't be in any danger. "If you can't hold on, let me know," Qi Yan reminded her, and then continued to go down with Wu Lingyu. Sima Yue used her realm to create a room-sized space for herself, and the magma was isolated outside. She took out a chair and sat down to wait for them, not knowing what was going on down there. Qi Yan and Wu Lingyu kept going down, and after about 2,000 to 3,000 meters, they finally saw the figure swimming in the magma. The little guy looked a bit like a little raccoon, and its short claws were flapping in the magma. It was red, and wasn't conspicuous in the red magma, but to Qi Yan and Wu Lingyu, it was very obvious. Wu Lingyu looked at the little guy. Although it was only the size of a fist, he felt a majestic power from it. Qi Yan was more surprised than Wu Lingyu, because he not only felt the power in its body, but also recognized its identity. You know this? Wu Lingyu asked. This is the god of fire. I haven't seen it before, but I know it from the inheritance of my ancestors. If it grows up, it will be stronger than me. Chapter 21:14. Wu Lingyu was shocked. Qi Yan was the divine vermilion bird. His flame was already the most powerful known to the world. He didn't expect that this fist-sized little guy would be even more powerful than him. You said that it will be stronger than you when it grows up, so it's not as good as you now? Are you going to absorb it? Wu Lingyu asked. Qi Yan was silent for a moment, then said, Before I came down, I planned to absorb whatever was below, but since it's this, absorbing it is not worthwhile. You want to take it? Not me, Yu. But her current state is not suitable. Wu Lingyu said. Before she even got close, she already couldn't stand it. If she wanted to subdue this guy, she would probably be roasted before she could touch it. That's why it's very unlucky, Qi Yan said. I found it before it grew up. Wu Lingyu raised her eyebrows, understanding his thoughts. If it grew up, Qi Yan couldn't do anything to it, but at this time, its strength was not enough to resist him. He would first subdue it, and then let it recognize its master. But she might have to suffer a little in the process. Can't we wait until it returns to its body to recognize its master? That way she wouldn't be in so much pain. It has grown to this extent in just over 100 years. When it returns to its body, I don't know how much it will grow, Qi Yan said. Okay. This guy could only be encountered by chance. It was more powerful than Qi Yan. It was a pity to miss it. I will protect it, Qi Yan said. Now let's subdue this little guy first. The god of fire, who was swimming happily in the magma, had long discovered the two of them, but it was too lazy to care about them. Hearing their words, it snorted disdainfully in its heart. Just the two of them wanted to subdue it? Dream on. In a while, it would roast them all into smoke. Qi Yan and Wu Lingyu both felt the little guy's contempt. At the same time, they snorted and released their strength. Wu Lingyu was okay. The little guy felt that it could still handle it. But as soon as Qi Yan's flame came out, it knew that it had met an enemy, although it lacked common sense and didn't know who he was. Sima Yue was waiting anxiously. They had been down there for so long, but there was no news at all. She did not know what was going on. However, she didn't dare to approach. Waiting here was already the limit of her patience. Suddenly, the temperature below suddenly rose. She felt the rolling heat wave and quickly fled upwards. Puchi! The heat wave rushed past her and continued upwards, all the way to where Yukuluo was. The space shook violently a few times, and Yukuluo's expression changed. What's going on? Could something have happened to you? Yukuluo started to worry. In comparison, Sima Luxian was much calmer. He comforted the flustered Yukuluo. Don't worry, such a small commotion will not hurt you. Really? Yukuluo was still worried. Why don't you go take a look? Don't worry, she has experienced more dangerous things than this. You have to believe in our daughter. Sima Luxian was very confident in Sima Yue. No matter how powerful she is, she's only 100 years old. Go take a look. Yukuluo said angrily. Yes, I'll go take a look. Sima Luxian turned and muttered softly. After so many years, her temperament still hasn't changed. When he wanted to go out and wait, they then remembered that he couldn't get out of this place. Kuluo, only Yue can go out. He turned back and said to Yukuluo. Yukuluo was anxious, but there was nothing she could do. Just as the two of them were staring at each other, Sima Yue's voice came from above. Father, Mother, are you okay? We're fine. How are you? Are you hurt? Yu Kuluo asked. I'm fine, Mother. I was in the domain at that time. The heat wave didn't hurt me. Sima Yue said. It's good that you're fine. I'm going down to check on Ling Yu and Qi Yan. After speaking, her voice disappeared and the surroundings became quiet again. See, I told you that you would be fine. Sima Luxian smiled at Yu Kuluo. Yu Kuluo gave him a cold snort. She was still unhappy. As a father, he was too careless about his own daughter. Sima Luxian understood her feelings. If he hadn't been with Yu Yue and knew her abilities, he wouldn't be able to be so calm. He sighed and said, Yu has suffered too much all these years. She has a lot of things on her own, but she has been looking for me and you. When Yu Kuluo heard this, her heart ached and tears fell. We are too incompetent as parents. Speaking of which, it's good that she has Wu Lingyu by her side. Yes, we are too incompetent. Sima Luxian felt that he was too useless. Continue to tell me about Yu Kuluo said. Although she wasn't involved in her past, she wanted to know. Okay. After Sima Yue left, she flew down again. She wanted to go down and check on Wu Lingyu's situation. But she couldn't go down when she reached the previous place. She released her domain to protect herself, and continued to wait here. She didn't know what was going on below. Other than the heat wave just now, there was no movement below. It's been so long. Has Crimson Flame already subdued it and absorbed it? She said to herself. Lingyu didn't come up to report. Doesn't he know that I'm worried? She could use the contract platform to contact Crimson Flame, but she didn't know the situation below and didn't dare to contact him rashly. It wouldn't be good to disturb him at a critical moment. After waiting for a long time in apprehension and uneasiness, there was finally a reaction from below. The first reaction was the temperature below. The scorching heat quickly dissipated and returned to the normal temperature of magma. She kept her domain, condensed a protective layer and went down. Not long after, she saw Wu Lingyu. She landed beside Wu Lingyu and didn't see Crimson Flame, so she asked, Where's Crimson Flame? Below. Wu Lingyu said. This space should be supported by that unknown guy. The magma below was still bubbling. When the bubbles burst, it emitted a burst of heat. What's this guy below? Did Crimson Flame absorb it? She asked. He didn't absorb it. He went down to teach it a lesson. Wu Lingyu said. It dared to look down on them before it grew up. It would be strange if Crimson Flame didn't teach it a lesson. Sima Yue was a little surprised. Crimson Flame didn't absorb it? What is this guy? Crimson Flame said it was the god of fire. He said he wanted to absorb it. Wu Lingyu looked at her sympathetically. Sima Yue was scared by his expression and said, Don't look at me like that. I'm scared. Chapter 21:15. Wu Lingyu couldn't bear for her to suffer, but it would be a pity to miss such an opportunity. Furthermore, she couldn't not take revenge for Qi Yan. She couldn't ignore the Jiuyu clan in front of her. So she still had to go there in the future. But since it was the realm of the gods, she didn't need to think to guess the strength of the people in front of her. It would be good to have more protection by her side. Qi Yan wants me to subdue it? Sima Yue was surprised. I can't even get close to it. How can I subdue it? I'll probably be roasted into smoke. Qi Yan will subdue it first, then make it recognize him as its master. With him protecting you, your life won't be in danger. But the pain will be unavoidable. Wu Lingyu said. Sima Yue thought of the time when she made a contract with Qi Yan, the pain of her body being tempered by the flames. Her mouth twitched and she looked at him pitifully. You have flames too, why don't you subdue it? Wu Lingyu shook his head, his left hand on her shoulder, and his right hand patted her head, saying with pity, If I can, I'm willing to take you through this pain, but no. Why? Although it hasn't grown up yet, its power is already very strong. Right now, only Qi Yan can subdue it. But he's not my contracted beast. If she wasn't his contracted beast, she wouldn't be able to discover the abnormality in his body, and wouldn't be able to subdue it immediately. Even if he was strong now, He wasn't sure if he could subdue it. So, only she could do this. Alright then, forget it. Sima Yue took a deep breath. At most, I'll be in pain again. Wu Lingyu hugged her. If you don't want to, then forget it. That won't do. Sima Yue shouted. Since we met, how can we miss it? I'm just thinking about it. Wu Lingyu let go of her and flicked her forehead lightly. Hua! The magma receded, and Qi Yin came out as if he was walking on water. In his hand was a little guy that looked like a little raccoon. This is the fire god? It's so small. Sima Yue said. Chi. The little guy struggled in Qi's hand and shouted at Sima Yue. Qi. Little birdie rose from Crimson Flame's hand and wrapped around the little guy. Sima Yue heard a pitiful squeak. Qian, the little guy was much calmer now. It's only been 100 years and it's already so powerful. Sima Yue looked at the little guy in surprise. Qian's to Qian is Qi. Chi's to Yan, two's to Yan Chi. Ts Chi. Ts to Dai, what an unlucky fellow. Yan's Chi, Tt Chi Yantov, to two's her. Ss? Tt. Can't it say no? It squeaked twice, and Qian seemed to understand its meaning. He nodded and said, It's okay if you don't want to. Chi. Sima Yue could feel its happiness, and thought that it was too early to be happy. Sure enough. If you don't want to, then there's no point in keeping you. I'll absorb you, and my injury will be healed. Qian picked up the little guy and wanted to absorb it. Chi. The little guy felt that Qian was not joking, but really wanted to absorb him, and he screamed in fright. Qian, are you really going to absorb it? Sima Yue realized that Qian was serious. I can take it, but I can't waste it. Qian didn't care. He wanted to take the little guy because of its status, but if it didn't listen to him, it would be useless. To be precise, if it didn't listen to him, he wouldn't let Sima Yue take it because it was risky. Chi. The little guy struggled in Qian's hand, and seeing that Qian didn't want to let it go, it turned its head and looked at Sima Yue. Sima Yue saw its panicked and helpless big eyes, and couldn't bear it and said, Why don't you take it? Are you willing to follow me? Chi. The little fellow quickly nodded and dissipated along with her. Good. Qian stared at the little guy for a while, and said coldly, Then let's take it as its master. Although it's not good, I think it's better to go back and take it. Wu Lingyu said. The little guy couldn't leave the magma and go to the spirit pagoda, but it wasn't good for Sima Yue to stay in the magma. After thinking about it, the best place to suppress Yukuluo was the place. But that would let Sima Luxian and Yukuluo see her in pain. Here. Sima Yue didn't want her parents to worry. Let's go back, Qian said. Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu saw his dignified look, and knew that there was no turning back. It also showed how dangerous this matter was, and no accident could happen. Sima Yue brought them back. Sima Luxian and Yukuluo didn't see the little guy in Qian's hand, but they could feel the suffocating heat. How is it? Sima Luxian asked. Sima Yue explained the situation briefly. Sima Luxian and Yukuluo were shocked when they heard that she wanted to take this little guy. Are you confident? Yukuluo asked worriedly. Qian is here. Sima Yue smiled at her. It's just the process that's a little uncomfortable. You must stay calm and don't interrupt us, otherwise, Qian and I will be in trouble. Okay. Yukuluo nodded and looked at her nervously. Sima Yue and Crimson Flame came to the furthest side, and Crimson Flame placed the little guy in front of her. She immediately felt a scorching aura rush towards her. And then her whole body felt like it was being roasted. The pain in her whole body attacked her brain, and her consciousness started to drift. Pain. Endless pain. Other than pain, she couldn't feel anything else. Fortunately, Qian was here, so she didn't have to force herself to stay awake. She didn't know how long she was in pain, and she didn't know that she was rolling around on the ground without making a sound, which made everyone's heart ache, and she didn't know that her mother was crying. She didn't know what Qian said, nor did she know what Fire God said. She only knew that when she heard whether she was willing or not, She used all her strength to say yes. Chapter 21:16. The pain continued to erode her nerves. Even though she was unconscious, she was still uneasy and her body curled up unconsciously. Wu Lingyu went up to protect her and gave her the soul fluid and elderberry's essence that he had prepared earlier. The cool feeling made the burning sensation in her body dissipate a lot. Her body trembled less, but her brows were still furrowed. This was the first time Yu Kaluo saw Sima Yue in so much pain, and her heart ached. She made it through and recovered later. Sima Luxian said. She's like this every time. Although the process is painful, the rewards are still plentiful. Qi Yan said. No matter if it was the first time he used his own flame to temper her body or being struck by lightning again and again, it was not easy. But the good thing was that after the pain, her rewards were not bad. When Yu Kaluo heard what Sima Luxian said to her, she knew that her daughter had suffered a lot. Otherwise, she would not be so powerful at such a young age. But seeing it with her own eyes, she felt different. Sima Luxian also felt sorry for his daughter, and could not bear to see Yu Kaluo sad. But now that he saw her crying, he could not even give her a hug. Ugh! Sima Yue let out a painful groan. The cave was silent for a moment. They did not speak until she woke up. She opened her eyes and saw Wu Lingyu's self-reproaching and distressed gaze. She smiled at him, but her whole body hurt from the movement. You're awake? Do you feel better? Wu Lingyu asked. It still hurts, but it's much better than before. Sima Yue said weakly. I'm going in to soak in the soul fluid. After speaking, she disappeared from his arms. Little Spirit had already prepared the soul fluid for her. The large wooden bucket was filled with soul fluid. He had taken out more than half of his savings. Other than the soul fluid, there was also the essence that he asked Elderby for. Sima Yue laid in the wooden bucket, and her whole body was soaked in the soul fluid. The burning sensation and pain in her whole body instantly reduced by a lot. You eat my flesh? Little Seven leaned on the side of the wooden bucket and looked at Sima Yue with tears in her eyes. Other than her, the other beasties also surrounded her. Their eyes were filled with heartache, wishing that they could bear the pain on her behalf. She raised her hand with difficulty and patted Little Seven's head, saying, I already have the soul fluid and elderberry's essence. I'll be fine after soaking in it. I've just soaked in it, and I'm already feeling much better, so don't worry. Really? Little Seven's eyes were hazy with tears. She could not see Sima Yue clearly. She pulled Qing Yi's shirt and wiped her tears and mucus. Qing Yi smiled helplessly. With a wave of his hand, the tears and snot on his clothes disappeared. Sima Yue smiled when she saw this scene. She did not have the energy to say anything to them, and closed her eyes to recover from her injuries. She soaked in the wooden tub for 3 days, and when she came out, her body had almost recovered. She opened her eyes. The beasts were still surrounding her. Sima Yue felt that she had neglected them all these years. Are you alright? Little Seven asked happily. I'm already much better. I'll need to rely on pills and time to recover from the rest. Sima Yue patted her head and said with a smile, It's good that you're alright. You scared us to death this time. Hua said, I'm sorry I made you guys worry. Sima Yue apologized to the beasts. She had been too busy recently, and rarely thought of them and considered their feelings. As long as you're alright. Little Dream hugged Little Roar. Her usually cold face had a trace of a smile. Where's that fellow? We need to take good care of him. Little Golden Snake asked. He's outside with Crimson Flame. Sima Yue said, I'll go out and take a look. If I don't go out, Father and Mother will be worried. Okay. Once we save Mother, we can return to the human realm. When that time comes, you guys can come out as you wish. That's great. I'm going to die from being in here all this time. Little Seven jumped up happily. I'm sorry all these years. We all understand. Thousand Resonance said. You don't have to feel sorry for us. That's right, you go and do your things. We'll wait for you here. Little Dream said. Sima Yue looked at the beasts emotionally, nodded her head heavily at them, and left in a flash. A few hours passed outside. Yu Luo and Wu Lingyu chatted for as long as she went in. Towards this future son-in-law of hers. The more Yu Luo interacted with him, the more she liked him. It was as the saying goes. The more a mother-in-law sees her son-in-law, the more she likes him. Auntie, uncle, you and I have already agreed that we will get married after saving Auntie. I wonder if you guys have any requests for the betrothal gift? Wu Lingyu asked. Wasn't he too direct? We don't have any requests. You can give more or less, that's your own intentions. Yu Luo said. I only have one request. You have to treat Yu well. I will. Don't think that just because you're the Devil King, you can bully Yu. You're the Devil King, and she's the Ghost King's granddaughter. If you dare to let her suffer, we won't say what we can do to you, but we can still take Yu away. Sima Lu Xian threatened. Uncle, don't worry. Even if I suffer, I won't let her suffer. It's good that you know. Actually, they were very satisfied with him as their son-in-law. Even if there were some dissatisfaction, it dissipated under Sima Yoyue's love for him. No choice, who asked their daughter to like him. When Sima Yue came out, the atmosphere was still a little awkward. She looked at them and asked, What are you guys talking about? Ling Yu is proposing marriage to us. Yu Luo saw that Sima Yoyue's complexion was not bad and said with a smile, You're better? Yeah, I'm almost better. Sima Yue automatically ignored the first part of the sentence. Looking around, she did not see Qi Yan and the little guy. Where's Qi Yan and the rest? They went down. They said it's better for the little guy down there. Wu Lingyu said. Then I'll go take a look. Sima Yue finished speaking and went out, leaving the three of them smiling silently. Was she shy just now? She was quite calm when talking about this before. They thought she really wouldn't be shy. But this was the first time they saw her like this. She was really beautiful. Sima Yue came out of the cave, sensing Qi Yan and the little guy's location. She flew down towards them. Magma, who was a little afraid of her before, felt affectionate when it saw her. It kept moving towards her. She landed at the place where the little guy was playing before. She saw Qi Yan meditating in the magma, and the little guy swimming around him. When the little guy saw Sima Yue coming down, it came out of the magma with a whoosh and flew into Sima Yoyue's arms. Sima Yue thought of the pain from before. She waved her hand subconsciously, and the little guy was slapped back into the magma. Chapter 21:17. You. Bad. The voice was like a child's, immature and unclear. Qi Yan opened his eyes and glanced at her. Although he did not have any expression, Sima Yue could feel the smile in his eyes. She touched her nose and said embarrassedly, cough cough, that it was a conditioned reflex. I didn't mean it. The little fellow snorted in grievance. Are you coming over? Sima Yue asked. If not, I'm going up. So. The little fellow flew towards her. This time, Sima Yue did not swat it away. You're all red, do you want me to call you Little Red? Sima Yue looked at the little fellow's fiery red body, and poked its head with her finger. Little Fire. Qi Yan said. And Sima Yue looked at him. Seeing him raise his eyebrows at her, she knew that he disliked the name she gave it. She pouted and snorted. Little Fire is Little Fire. It's actually similar to Little Red. Little Fire rubbed against her palm. Fire. Okay, I'll call you Little Fire. Sima Yue said. She lifted Little Fire's neck and looked at it carefully, saying, God of Fire, why does it look like this? It doesn't look domineering at all. Zhi. Little Fire's small body started to tremble. Its long claws scratched everywhere, and its mouth was squeaking. It looked like it was very angry. Qi Yan saw that she was having fun and shook his head slightly, saying, Go find the Southern God Seal. Little Fire and I won't go. We'll wait here for you to come back. Why, is there something special here? Sima Yue let go of Little Fire, and looked at the lava curiously. This place is indeed unusual, but I haven't found out the specifics. Here my injuries will heal quickly. Also, it hasn't grown yet. Staying here will allow it to continue growing. Qi Yan said. You've guarded the continent for so long. But you've never seen the fire god. However, it was born here, which means that this place is not normal. Sima Yue said. Since this is good for both of you, then stay here. And I'll stay here. Firstly, I'll recuperate. Secondly, I'll figure out why. Crimson Flame said. Okay, Sima Yue replied. Besides, I want to ask you for a favor. What? With my father's temperament, I'm afraid he won't follow me when he sees my mother. If he wants to stay, please take care of him for me. If anything happens, let me know immediately. Sima Yue said. All right. Sima Yue patted Lil Flame's head and said, Little guy, I'm leaving. You have to be good here, okay? Creak. I know you don't want to, but it's better for you to stay here. You have to grow up well here so that you can protect me in the future. If anyone bullies me in the future, burn it all. Sima Yue said. Lil Flame didn't know what protect meant, but he understood the last sentence. He wanted to stay here and become stronger. If anyone bullied her, he would burn them to death. He couldn't be too weak. Thus he decided to stay. Sima Yue left him with Crimson Flame, and returned to the place where she was suppressed. They're still down there? Wu Lingyu was afraid that she was still shy and asked first. And they didn't want to leave with us, so they stayed here. Sima Yue said. I want to stay here too. Sima Luxian said. Your mother has been here alone for so long, I'll stay here to accompany her. Okay. Sima Yue had already guessed it, so she wasn't surprised at all. But you have to know that if you stay here, you can only stay here. You won't be able to leave before I come back. I know, Sima Luxian said. It doesn't matter how small the place is with your mother. It's good that you're here to accompany mother, Sima Yue said. If anything happens, make some noise. Crimson Flame and Lil Flame are down there, they'll come up to watch. If anything happens, Crimson Flame will be able to contact me. Okay, Sima Luxian replied. You're leaving? Yu Kuluo looked at her reluctantly. Mother, I'm going to find the Southern God Seal so that I can save you, Sima Yue said. Don't worry, I'll be back soon. Then be careful, Yu Kuluo reminded. In the past, she felt that it didn't matter whether she was suppressed here or not. But it was different now. She saw her own child, her beloved. She knew that they had done so much to save her. How could she continue to be depressed? Cough, cough. She felt sweetness in her heart and couldn't help but cough twice, but spat out a trace of blood. Mother, how are you? Kuluo, are you okay? Sima Yue and Sima Luxian called out together. I'm fine. Yu Kuluo waved her hand. I'm fine, it's just that my throat is a little uncomfortable because of the magma. You don't look good. Do you still have any pills? Yu Kuluo wanted to say that she still had some, but when she saw their gaze, she couldn't bear to lie to them. Maybe it's because Lil Flame has formed, the surrounding temperature is much higher. I've already eaten all the pills before, Yu Kuluo said. She felt that her condition had worsened a lot recently, and she didn't have the desire to live, so her body had deteriorated a lot. If they didn't come over at this time, perhaps they would only see her corpse if they came later. Mother won't be able to hold on for long like this. We have to think of a way to get some pills in, Sima Yue said. But this seal can't be opened, Yu Kuluo said. Let's try, Sima Yue said as she condensed her spirit energy and struck the seal. The moment she touched the seal, she was bounced back. Wu Lingyu reacted quickly and flew over to catch her. I'm fine. Sima Yue came out from Wu Lingyu's arms and saw the faint light in the four corners dissipating. Are these the places where the cardinal point's divine seal is placed? She wanted to attack the seal after she finished speaking, but was caught by Wu Lingyu. I'll do it, you observe, Wu Lingyu said. Sima Yue didn't try to be brave, and retreated to the side with Sima Luxian. Wu Lingyu condensed a bit of energy and attacked. Almost at the moment of contact, he condensed a protective circle to protect himself. Sima Yue saw it clearly this time. There were indeed 4 places that flashed with light. If I'm not wrong, those 4 places are the places where the cardinal point's divine seal is placed, Sima Yue said. But there's one place missing, we can't open the seal. Sima Yue thought about it, and told Wu Lingyu to try again. Wu Lingyu condensed her spirit energy and attacked again. At the same time, she teleported to the north, took out the northern divine seal, and inserted her spirit energy into the light. Chapter 21:18. Sima Yue felt her underworld energy being sucked into the northern god seal. She wanted to pull her hand out, but she couldn't. Don't move. There's a reaction. Sima Yue was speechless, but she managed to make Wu Lingyu stop. It was enough to have such a big hole. Wu Lingyu. At the last moment, Wu Lingyu hugged Sima Yue in his arms. He bore the final impact. You are. Sima Lu Xian ran over. How are you? You child, you should stop when you know it's dangerous. Why do you always do such dangerous things? Yu Kulua was frightened by Sima Yue. Father and the others said that my temperament is very similar to mother's. Sima Yue came out from Wu Lingyu's arms and pulled Wu Lingyu up. She smiled at Yu Kulua. There are many types of pills here. Mother, you can decide what you need to take according to your condition. Yu Kulua looked at the pills and ate 2 of them. The burning sensation in her body immediately dissipated. After a while, her complexion looked better. Just 1 pill was enough to make her struggle. If there were 4 of them, would she be able to control them? She put away the divine seal of the north and said, Father, Mother, Lingyu and I are both injured. The environment here is not suitable for us to recuperate. We will leave first and go to the surface to recuperate. After that, we will go and find Mulan. Yu Kulua looked at Sima Yue and suppressed her worries. She smiled at her. Go ahead. Be careful. Mother will wait for you here. She kept Wu Lingyu in the spirit pagoda. Then, she looked at her parents deeply and left reluctantly. Okay. Yu Kulua nodded with tears in her eyes. I just feel sorry for our daughter. She has to bear so much at such a young age. With such a daughter, what more can I ask for? With this experience, Wu Lingyu controlled his speed well. He only suffered light injuries and was not in as much pain as when he went in. I know you want to get the Southern Divine Seal as soon as possible. Let's not waste any more time here. I'll recuperate on the road for a while. Wu Lingyu smiled at her and allowed her to examine him. When they reached the nearest city, she asked He Yin to go back and entered the city with Wu Lingyu. Of course, when they entered the city, they were extorted a large sum of money from the entrance fee. How could Wu Lingyu not know what she was thinking? But this made his heart feel sweet, and he didn't argue with her. Sima Yue did not have much hope when she asked the Scarlet Bees to gather information. However, she managed to obtain some useful information. She looked at him, who was recuperating. Her eyes flashed, but she didn't say anything. When Sima Yue saw that he was awake, she walked over and asked, You're awake. Have you recovered? Sima Yue gave him a checkup and confirmed that his body had recovered. Hearing his words, he said proudly, There really is. Didn't my disciple, Xiaoling, return to the infernal realm? He happened to be nearby recently. Let's go look for him and see if we can go to the capital through him. Sima Yue said. That's right, Sima Yue said. I heard that he was still here a few days ago, but he has already left. That's not a big deal. Let's chase after him, Sima Yue said. I heard that he stays at every place for a few days. Alas, when will these days come to an end? He really wanted to go back and manage his restaurant. He hadn't even studied the recipes that his master gave him. Chapter 21:19. Master, why are you in the infernal realm? Xiaoling was so excited that he wanted to hug Sima Yue, but was pulled away by Wu Lingyu. But you said you didn't know when you would come. I thought you wouldn't come back for a long time. I didn't expect you to come so soon. How long have you been here? How did you know I was here? Xiaoling said excitedly. Xiaoling looked around. They were now on the street. People who came and went saw him so excited and stopped to watch the show. Master, let's talk inside. Xiaoling made a gesture of invitation. After Sima Yue left, he followed in. The difference was too big. It's not just you who don't know. Even I don't know. The steward said. That's only after the young master came back. How would I know what happened to him in the Dark Sea City? Steward Xiao said. I've never heard the family head talk about it. If it's really someone powerful, family head, they won't hide this news. That's natural. The steward replied and turned to tell someone to report. This was originally a tea house. Xiao Ling brought Sima Yue to the most private room and asked someone to make the best tea. What else could it be? Since I came back, I've been walking around and looking at the family's businesses. Just now, I was listening to the shopkeeper's report about the situation here. Speaking of this, he was angry. Master, let me tell you. They brought me back and then made me do these boring things. My parents insisted on letting me familiarize myself with the family business before letting me continue to open the restaurant. I had no choice but to follow. Xiao Ling was depressed when he said this. It seemed that Xiao Ling's parents still didn't think highly of his cooking. They hoped to use this patrol to cultivate his interest in the family business. Unfortunately, the effect wasn't very obvious. Xiao Ling obviously didn't understand his parents' meaning. He only treated this matter as a mission to complete. He fantasized about finishing this matter quickly, so that he could open the restaurant. I do have something that I need your help with, but I'm not sure if you can help me, Sima Yue said. I want to see Mulan. Sima Yue said. I want to meet the ruler of the infernal realm, Mulan. Sima Yue said. I know this isn't an easy task, but it's fine if you can't help. But can you take me to the capital? Silmer. Sima Yue was silent. She could roughly guess what was going on. Xiao Ling shook his head and said, Venerable One has been in seclusion recently. Other than those close to him, only those he summoned can see him. Now, even my parents might not be able to do it. Even if they couldn't find Silmer, they couldn't possibly keep missing Mulan, could they? Tell me about it. However, there was no way to confirm if this method would work. What if he was just casually asking and didn't care about her whereabouts, even if he heard that she was coming? He might not come back. Alright, then I'll cancel the rest of my schedule. I'll take you back to the imperial capital first. After saying that, Xiao Ling went out to instruct the steward to prepare to go back. Young master's matter should be left to master and the rest. Thank you, Xiao Ling, Sima Yue said gratefully. Chapter 21-20. Xiao Ling trusted Sima Yue so much that he didn't even ask her why she was looking for Mulan. Master, I haven't even finished studying the recipes you gave me. After I came back, my parents made me take care of the family's affairs. I even want to go back to Minghai City. Xiao Ling complained to her. Unfortunately, Uncle can't go. My parents won't let me go alone. Your parents want you to go back to the family, Sima Yue said. Actually, liking to cook doesn't conflict with your family's affairs. You have to find a balance. You can do what you like, but you can also live up to your parents' expectations. But I can't find this balance at all. They won't agree to let me open a restaurant. Xiao Ling thought of his stubborn parents and had a headache. I have an idea. Xiao family steward felt that his young master was a bit strange. Ever since Sima Yue came, he seemed to be very happy. He had a smile on his face all day long. He was very different from the young master, who wasn't interested in anything. Could it be that he liked Sima Yue that much? So he was in a good mood when he saw her? If that was the case, then he had to report this to the family head. Xiao family and His Excellency had a complicated relationship, so Xiao family had a very special position in the infernal realm. Therefore, with Xiao family's name, no one dared to have any ideas about them. They returned to the imperial capital peacefully. Once they entered the city, Xiao Ling chased everyone from Xiao family back. He brought Sima Yue and the rest to his courtyard. This is my courtyard. You can stay here without worry, Xiao Ling said. Although Xiao family is big, there are many rules. You can feel more at ease here. Sima Yue didn't expect Xiao Ling to be so meticulous. He even considered this point. She indeed didn't like those rules and didn't plan to stay in Xiao family. Needless to say, Xiao family didn't like Xiao Ling's cooking. They definitely wouldn't be nice to her, the chef. She didn't want to be ridiculed by others. His arrangement was good. Xiao Ling had just arranged a place for her to stay when Xiao family sent someone to rush him back. Master, I'll try your method when I go back. Do you think it will be effective? Xiao Ling asked worriedly. I don't know, you'll know after you try it. Sima Yue said. You won't lose anything if it doesn't work. That's true. Xiao Ling sighed. Seriously, you only know how to urge me. I haven't even had the chance to properly discuss cooking with Master. We'll have time to discuss it later, Sima Yue said. All right, I'll take my leave now. Xiao Ling bowed and left. Before he had gone far, he began to scold the people who had come to call him. Sima Yue looked at Xiao Ling's back and asked worriedly, what if Silmer doesn't come back after learning that we're here? I think we should be prepared for both eventualities. Yes, if Silmer doesn't come back, we won't be so passive. Wu Lingyu agreed with her idea. Then let's think of a gentler way, Sima Yue said. After all, she had a favor to ask. If she went against the other party right away, wouldn't she be causing trouble for herself? However, Wu Lingyu didn't believe her. When had she ever been gentle when doing things like this? Xiao Ling was summoned by his father as soon as he returned to the Xiao family. Other than his parents, his grandfather was also summoned. The three of them had been staring at him since he entered the door, as if they were interrogating him. Master, father, mother. Xiao Ling bowed to the three of them. What's up with that master of yours? Where did she become your disciple? What's her identity? What did she learn from her? Xiao Ling's mother pulled a long face as soon as she arrived. If she's a proper master, then bring her home and treat her well. I became her disciple in Nether Sea City. She learned cooking. Xiao Ling said. I knew it. You don't dare to bring back a master who can only cook. Xiao Ling's mother slammed her hand on the table, making a crisp sound. Mother, how can you say that? Xiao Ling was unhappy. I didn't bring her back because she likes peace and quiet. It's not because she's not presentable. How can you talk to your mother like that? Xiao Ling's father shouted with a sullen face. And NBSU rereading Crazy Wife. 5th Miss Godly Doctor, Chapter 2120. Crazy Wife. The anti-theft mode has been activated. Only the first half of the chapter can't be connected to the previous one. Please search the hidden parts on Baidu. Heartless plus water. Then search Crazy Wife, 5th Miss Godly Doctor. Chapter 2121. Killing someone was a common occurrence in the abyss of hell. It would be abnormal if tens of thousands of people died every day in the imperial capital. Hence, they did not care about Sima Yue's life. But if that's the case, will Jin be angry? He seems to value this master a lot. Xiao Ling's father said hesitantly. Jin finally turned his attention to the family business. If that person keeps encouraging him now, I'm afraid his heart will fly away again. Xiao Lingyang said with a frown. I'm afraid that if we kill her directly, Jin will be disgusted and his heart will fly away again. Xiao Ling's father said. That's possible. Master Xiao said. Why don't we talk to that person first and ask her to leave the imperial capital and stop pestering Jin? We'll give her whatever she wants. Xiao Lingyang said. She came back with Jin for this. If she agrees, it's not impossible for us to spare her life. Xiao family head said. I'll leave this matter to you. Yes, father. I'll take care of this matter. Sima Yue was discussing with Wu Lingyu about their backup plan. Before they could come up with a comprehensive plan, they heard the servant girl say that Madam had arrived. Madam? Sima Yue was stunned for a moment before she reacted. Wasn't Madam Xiao Ling's mother? She came quite quickly. Wu Lingyu said. It's a lot slower than I expected. Sima Yue said. I thought she would come when Xiao Ling went back. She's probably waiting to see her son first. Wu Lingyu said. I'm afraid she's not here with good intentions. We'll know when we see. It was obvious that they were not here to welcome her. She just didn't know if they were going to use force or use force. Sima Yue was led to the living room by the servant girl. Sairni was already waiting there. Your Jin's master? Sairni looked at Sima Yue from head to toe. She was much younger than she had imagined. Seeing her arrogant look, Sima Yue did not bow to her. One was Xiaoling's mother, and the other was Xiaoling's master. They were of the same generation. Exactly. May I know who this is? She deliberately looked at Ernie and pretended not to know her. No, she didn't know her. I'm Shang-Er's maid of honor, Silver replied. Oh, you're Xiaoling's mother. Nice to meet you. Sima Yue went to the other side of the main seat and sat down. Sylvie was displeased to see Lin Sanjiu sitting next to her. Young people should be more polite, she said with a sullen face. Sima Yue pretended to be confused and blinked her eyes. Then she looked as if she suddenly understood and said seriously, Madam Xiao, in terms of seniority, you're Xiaoling's mother and I'm his master. Our seniority is the same. In terms of guests, since I'm living here, I'm considered the owner of this place. Since you're here, you're a guest. The host is here, but the guest doesn't even have the intention to get up. The host is already not fussing about it. Host? This is Shang-Er's courtyard. You're just a guest who's staying here temporarily. How can you call yourself the host? Silver looked at her with disdain. Yes, this is your purpose. You're just greedy for glory and wealth. Madam Xiao, what do you mean? Sima Yue stopped smiling and looked at her unhappily. You're a cook. Didn't you come here with Shang-Er to live a better life? Silver waved her hand in disgust and said arrogantly, Our Shang-Er will do great things in the future. He won't learn those lowly things. Since you know each other, name your price. Once you get what you want, leave the imperial capital. Go far away and don't bother him anymore. Lowly things. Sima Yue sneered. I wonder how Xiaoling will feel when he hears his own mother describing his passion like that. Shang-Er naturally won't hear it. Silver said, Name your price. Madam Xiao, I think you've got it wrong. I'm here for my own business. I'm not interested in pestering Xiaoling and the Xiao family. I still have other things to do. If Madam Xiao has nothing else to say, please leave. Sima Yue had a bad impression of Silver, because she didn't want to waste time and energy dealing with her. You're chasing me away? What right do you have to chase me away? This is my son's courtyard. If anyone should leave, it should be you who's an outsider. Silver shouted. You said it yourself. This is Xiaoling's courtyard. Now that he's lending this place to me, I have the right to chase away anyone I don't want to see. Sima Yue said. Madam Xiao, why don't you ask the guards and maids outside and see if they'll listen to you or me? You. Of course, Sylvie wouldn't ask. She knew her son well enough to know that he treasured this chef a lot. He would definitely order these people to listen to her. If she asked, she would just be looking for humiliation. Madam Xiao, since you're Xiaoling's mother, I'm asking you to leave this time. If you speak rudely again, I don't know what I'll do. Sima Yue paused and said, I'll leave after I'm done with my business. You don't have to worry about what I'll do to Xiaoling for Xiaoling's sake. She didn't want their relationship to be so strained. That was why she said that. However, Silver obviously didn't believe her. In Silver's heart, she was just a greedy cook. She couldn't believe her words. I advise you not to refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. Not only is the forfeit hard to drink, you have to be alive to drink it. Yes, if I'm alive to drink the forfeit, I'll tell Madam Xiao how it tastes. I still have things to do, so I won't keep you company. After saying that, she stood up calmly and left without looking at Silver again. How could such a mother raise such an innocent Xiaoling? She'd better leave. Otherwise, she wouldn't be able to control the wild energy in her body and do something unkind. Stop. It was the first time Silver was ignored like that. She stood up and shouted. At the same time, she waved her hand and threw a spiritual energy towards Sima Yue. Sima Yue felt the murderous intent behind her and teleported to avoid the spiritual energy. Boom! The spiritual energy created a big hole in the courtyard. Sima Yue came out from the other side of the courtyard. She was furious. I thought that Madam Xiao, as the madam of the family, would at least care about her reputation. I didn't expect you to sneak an attack from behind. This has really broadened my horizons. Chapter 21-22. Sayuri didn't expect Sima Yue to dodge so easily. She didn't seem to be very strong, but her reaction was quite agile. I gave you a chance, but you didn't take it. Sayuri didn't feel embarrassed. She raised her chin and looked at Sima Yue. I also told you that it's not easy to drink the punishment wine. Thinking of her identity and the fact that she needed her brother's help, Sima Yue tried her best to suppress her murderous intent. I'll give you one last chance. If you continue to speak rudely or seek death, I'll be happy to fulfill your wish. Black Shadow, throw her out. Black Shadow appeared beside Sayuri. He grabbed her clothes and threw her out. Just like that, Sayuri flew out. You're so rough, Sima Yue teased him. If you don't know how to be gentle with women, you won't be able to find a wife in the future. Black Shadow looked at her unhappily. Wasn't she the one who asked him to do that? Sima Yue felt that she called the wrong person. She should have asked Huan to do it. He would know that although she said that, she didn't want Sayuri to leave in this way. Forget it, just throw her out. Although it would be troublesome for the future, at least at this moment, she felt good. Sayuri didn't expect Sima Yue to have such a powerful person by her side. Before she could react, she was thrown out. Fortunately, she reacted quickly. Before she landed, she twisted her body in the air. When she landed, she staggered a little, but at least she didn't embarrass herself. This chef. She must kill her. Bang! The sound of the door closing made her even angrier. She swore in her heart that she would make Sima Yue die a horrible death. However, she didn't rush in to kill Sima Yue. Her remaining rationality reminded her that Sima Yue still had a powerful person by her side. If she wanted to kill her, she had to think carefully. Creak! The door opened again. Sayuri thought that Sima Yue regretted her actions and wanted to apologize to her. She smiled proudly. However, her smile froze on her face before it could fully bloom. The person who came out of the door was not Sima Yue. She was just a servant girl who followed her in. Even the maidservants had walked out through the door, but she had been thrown out. This was a great humiliation to her. When the two maidservants saw her, they quickly ran over. Madam, are you all right? Sil glared at the two of them coldly before she turned and left. The two maidservants felt the murderous intent in her eyes. They hesitated for a moment, but still hurriedly followed her. Although there was killing intent in Madam's eyes, at least she wouldn't make a move now. Later on, when Madam's anger subsided, they might still be able to live. But if they didn't follow him now, they would die immediately. When Sayuri returned to the Xiao family, she angrily went to find Xiaoling's father. This is infuriating. How dare that person? Sylvie's words stopped abruptly when she saw Xiaoling. She stepped out of the door and looked around. This was her husband's study room, but Xiaoling actually appeared here. This was the first time in history. Xiaoling also looked at her in confusion. Mother, what were you talking about just now? Who made you angry? Isn't it? Sylvie was about to say something when Xiaoling's father gave her a look. It's nothing. I was just angry when I was dealing with the family matters. Why are you here? Didn't you ask me to learn how to deal with the family matters? I'm here to learn. There's something I don't understand that I want to ask father. Xiaoling replied, then advised her. Don't worry too much about that. If you don't do well, you can just switch. Don't be angry at yourself. Okay, I understand. Sylvie casually replied. If you have anything else, I'll come back later. No need. I've already asked father everything I wanted to ask him. Xiaoling said. I haven't finished reading the account book that grandfather gave me. You talk to father. I'll go back and look at the account book. With that, he picked up the pile of books on the desk and left. Sylvie watched him leave with a smile. When he was out of sight, she said to his father, Our Xiao has really changed. Yes, that's rare. Xiaoling's father smiled with satisfaction. All the effort he had spent was not in vain. What did you want to say just now? That the chef refused to leave? She didn't just refuse to leave. At the mention of Sima Yue, Sylvie's anger flared up again. She told her father everything that happened after she went to look for Sima Yue. Towards the end, she was already gritting her teeth. She could not wait to get someone to kill Sima Yue to vent her anger. However, Xiaoling's father remained silent. He did not send someone to deal with her directly like before. Let's not touch this person for the time being. Why? Sylvie exploded. Didn't we agree to get rid of her if she doesn't want to leave? And she insulted me like that. How can I tolerate her living in this world? But after what happened today, I think it's better for us to put this matter aside for the time being. Why? Although Xiao has already started learning about the family matters, he hasn't settled down yet. If he's provoked now, it might trigger his rebellious nature. Then we're not going to care about this person. Are we not going to care about the insults I mentioned? Of course not. How can we let you be wronged? I'm saying that we can put this matter aside for a while. When Xiao has completely settled down and feels that she's not important anymore, we'll do it. How long do we have to wait? I'm so angry. Sylvie was unhappy. Is it more important to vent your anger for yourself or for Xiao's future? Xiaoling's father coaxed. Let her live for a few more days. You can just kill her later. Sylvie was unwilling, but for her child, she could only endure it. When we get her back, I'll kill her myself. As long as you're happy, I'll do whatever you want. Sima Yue waited for a few days. She thought that the Xiao family would continue to cause trouble for her, but they did not even show up. It was as if the incident that day had never happened. In order not to cause more trouble, she did not go out for the rest of the day. She waited for Sylvie's return and news from Xiaoling. Just as she was about to lose her patience, and was about to use the backup plan, 2 pieces of news finally came back. Sylvie was back. She went to the Xiao family because Xiaoling was sick. Xiaoling's illness was very strange. There were no signs or symptoms. Otherwise he would be bedridden. This worried the Xiao family. They invited many doctors, alchemists, and poison masters, but none of them could figure out the reason. That was why Sylvie went to see him as soon as she returned. Chapter 21-23. Sylvie was very surprised to see her brother. There was dust on his clothes and stubble on his chin. He looked travel-worn, completely different from his previous image. What's wrong with Xiaoling? Sylvie asked. I don't know what happened, but he's suddenly bedridden and his life force is constantly depleting. We've found many doctors and pill refiners, but they can't tell what's wrong. Only one doctor said that he's depressed and has lost his passion for life. Sylvie wiped her eyes and said, Brother, go see what's wrong with him. Sylvie didn't like to see women cry, even if it was his sister. He answered casually and went straight to Xiaoling's courtyard. Xiaoling was lying on the bed, his face sallow and his eyes lifeless. In just 2 short months, he had become a bag of bones and looked a little scary. When he saw Sylvie, he called out weakly, Uncle. Sylvie went to check on him and didn't say anything. He only glanced at him indifferently. Brother, how is Jean? Sylvie looked at him nervously. Xiaoling also looked at him nervously, not knowing what he would say. I can't tell for now. He let out a sigh of relief after hearing Sylvie's words. What did he go through during this period of time? Tell me in detail. Sylvie told him about how Xiaoling was no longer obsessed with cooking, and how he was wholeheartedly focused on managing the family. Then he said, I noticed a while ago that he hasn't smiled in a long time. He's like a walking corpse. Then he suddenly fell ill. Those people we found couldn't do anything. If even you don't know what happened, what will he do? She started crying again as she spoke. Sylvie frowned impatiently and said, You guys go out first. I have something to ask him in private. Sylvie and the others didn't dare to disobey him, so they all left. Sylvie casually set up a barrier and poured himself a cup of tea. He sat at the table and said softly, Sima Yu's idea? Yes. Xiaoling stopped pretending and sat up to meet his eyes. I knew you wouldn't come up with such an idea. She gave it to you? Yes. The medicine given by Sima Yue was not harmful to the body. Although it would make the body slimmer, it would not affect the qi, blood and cultivation. Moreover, ordinary people would not be able to tell. Aren't you afraid that it won't work? Trying is better than not trying at all. What if it works? So, don't I need your help now? Tell me, how do you want me to help you? Sima Yue wanted to look for Silmer when she heard that he was back, but she held herself back when she thought about Xiaoling. She originally thought that it would take him a few days to help Xiaoling, but she didn't expect to see him on the afternoon of her return. Along with him were the people she didn't want to see. Miss Yue, my brother-in-law said that your medical skills are very good. Please save my son. Xiaoling's father immediately pleaded when he saw Sima Yue. Sayerny didn't say anything. Seeing that she was still a little uncomfortable, she subconsciously turned her face away. What's the matter with you guys? She said this to Sayerny and the others, but she was looking at Silmer and Xiaoling who was being carried in. Why did they come to her place? This was not part of their plan. Shouldn't Xiaoling only get better after Silmer came back and got them to agree to let Xiaoling continue cooking? Why did they bring him to her place? My son is seriously ill. My brother-in-law said that your medical skills are very good, so we want to ask you to save him, Xiaoling's father said. Sima Yue saw that Silmer didn't want to say anything, so she nodded and said, then I'll try. But it might not work. I need to see the cause of his illness first. She pretended to check on Xiaoling, then shook her head helplessly and said, mental illness needs mental medicine. I can't do anything. However, the Xiao family thought that she was a capable person. They didn't tell her anything. She only took his pulse and she knew that it was a mental illness. It was clear that her medical skills were superb. You can find the cause of his illness so quickly. You must have a way to save him. Save him and we'll give you anything you want, Sylvie said in a firm tone. It's not that I don't want to help him, but I really can't. Sima Yue said. I know that you've always been against him cooking. If I tell you that you have to follow his wishes to save him, will you agree to let him cook? Well, the Xiao family hesitated. Is there no way to make him better? Aren't your medical skills amazing? Don't tell me you're just an empty title. Silmer said firmly. I don't need to prove to you that I'm just an empty title. If you had a way, would you still need to come to me? Sima Yue said sarcastically. Yue. Silmer called her name. Sima Yue glanced at him and said, say it has nothing to do with my medical skills. Even if I cure him today, he'll still be like this tomorrow. He'll just suffer another round of pain. If that's the case, it's better for him to just die and suffer less. After all, the Xiao family won't agree to let him cook. If that's the case, why should we bother? Well, Xiaoling's father looked at Silmer, waiting for his opinion. Other than her, no one else in this world can save him, Silmer said. Is there no other choice? They could either die or let him do what he wanted to do. I don't have any, but you can ask other doctors. Maybe they'll have a way. Sima Yue's meaning was obvious. If they didn't agree, they could only watch him die. She wouldn't do something useless anyway. Carry him back. We'll decide what to do after you've made a decision, Silmer said to the Xiao family. Then he turned to her and asked, I heard that you're looking for me? Yes, Sima Yue said. If it's convenient, I'd like to talk to you alone. Okay. Silmer and Sima Yue left. The Xiao family looked at the thin Xiaoling and didn't know what to do. Bring him back, bring him back. We'll talk about it after the discussion. Xiaoling's father said so the others could only follow. Silmer and Sima Yue went to the pavilion in the backyard. Sima Yue made him a pot of tea. Sima Yue thought he would ask about Xiaoling, but he didn't expect her to say directly, tell me, why are you looking for me? Sima Yue didn't beat around the bush and said directly, I want to see Mulan. I need your help. You're tuning in to the Lime's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.